Powell wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello. Happy new all-time highs for those who celebrate. And if you're not celebrating yet, what are you doing? There's probably going to be a lot more of these new all-time highs as we are in a rampant bull market. To be honest, with yesterday's gap down, I didn't expect us to hit it, but we did. We just rallied pretty much for the entire day, absolutely nonstop, breaking new all-time high after new all-time high. Now we just hang out here and see if we can do it again. In the pre-market, we are about flat, up, I think, like 2-3 cents. So, yeah, we'll call that flat for a $600 index. And we got a lot of trading to do, right? Yesterday was an awesome day for day trading. It was an awesome day, obviously, for swing trading. It's one of those days that you sign into your swing trading account a little later in the day, and you're super happy for what is there and super happy for what happens. Now, let's see if we can do it again. Let's take a look at the crypto move. There's a lot of bouncing going on in crypto, so maybe the death of the cryptocurrency is a little bit over-exaggerated, as people have been saying, oh, yeah, we got to pull back pretty significantly here. Maybe we don't. And as always, we're here for you guys, so make sure you're commenting and asking questions and saying hello and all of that, and we will we'll talk about that there. But without further ado, I'm just going to pop into right here. Boom, just grab my screen. So if we go to the kind of sector watch, you can see here, this far corner right here, this is what's gapping up or down this morning. If I just scroll through this quickly, you can see 90% of the ETFs that I watch, there's about 150 names in this list that I go through every day, week, month, and year, just to check out all those different time frames. We are up on pretty much everything across the board. Now, taking a look at the SPY, again, just to summarize yesterday, because we took off about here. And you can see as we were rallying to new all-time or new daily highs, and then we just continued to surge, right? We go to a daily chart. You can see we broke these two highs, which were the prior all-time highs, smashed that entirely. IWM didn't quite make it there, held this little breakout. So this is the prior all-time high right here. You can see it's struggling around that zone. To me, that makes a lot of sense just based off the fact that unlike the other sectors that were all-time highs last week, this has not been all-time highs since 2021. So we spent 4 years underperforming in the small caps, and now we're finally starting to outperform. We're finally starting to push up in the small cap area here. We take a look at the Qs. Again, new all-time highs there as well on the Qs. The Dow almost touched it, but didn't quite. So some lagging going on in the Dow. We can see a lot of that from XLV or healthcare. Couldn't even go green yesterday. So some good relative weakness in healthcare, and it's actually below this base right here. So this is going to be a sector I'm going to keep an eye on just to see. We've been relatively weak here in the healthcare sector for a long time. You can see we're nowhere near all-time highs there, but it's been trying. It's been trying to move. It's been trying to break out, and it's just not been able to do that. It's just not been something that we can kind of make a move on. So I'm looking to see if that changes, because as we talk about a lot in these type of markets, there's generally a lot of catch-up trading going on, and this would be a perfect candidate for that kind of catch-up trading. And we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that happen there. So that's why we have the Dow lagging, because the Dow's got a big healthcare component to that as well. Mid caps, just not even all-time highs yet, floundering around here. No one really cares about all the mid caps getting lost in the middle. A lot of interest rate sensitivity in healthcare, a lot of interest rate sensitivity in small caps, a lot of interest rate sensitivity in mid caps. So again, strong across the board for everyone who matters, all the big guys. Love to see it. Love to see the tiers and the bears. We talked about this yesterday. If you missed it, that not only did we shorted big yesterday. So, or on the weekend, everybody shorted. the positioning continues to get more and more short, and they continue to be more and more wrong. So I will take that all day long here. We have a bunch of stuff coming up today. Let's refresh this here. So we have Flash Services PMI, which is happening. So this is 10:45 my time. So it's 9:45 Eastern. So 15 minutes after the market opens, we have that. And then 5 minutes after that, we've got Trump talking. And then 10 minutes after that, we've got this Richmond Fed, which is a kind of a medium impact. That's what, if you hover over it, that's what that says. A medium impact one, whereas these are high impact. Then we have Fed Chow or Fed, geez, and Trump speaking again. So we got Jay Powell at 12:35, and then we got Trump coming back. So a lot of economic data today, a lot of numbers today, right? That should mean some good volatility for us to play. Yesterday was, I wouldn't fault anyone if yesterday was a hard day for you, because we did just grind slowly higher all the time. So it didn't really give a lot of volatility, a lot of snapbacks to get into, that kind of thing. It was just a slow grind here. Now, if we have all of this news coming out, I would like to, as someone who trades a lot of this volatility, see, right, big rallies up, crashes down, right, reversals here, reversals there, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And based off what we're seeing in all of the economic data that's coming out, that could happen. And right, anytime Trump speaks, you have to you got to sit up here and you got to say, okay, well, if he's chatting, I got to be listening, because things are moving. Things are moving when he's chatting. So let's take a look at the crypto space. Go over here, hit the daily chart. Right, had another little sell off yesterday, last night into the close, and then rallied. So like I talked about with Bitcoin, we had a big push from 107 up to 117, and now we're pulling back, and we're just kind of holding this 110 area. Now, that's what I want to see, right? So you can see how this zone, this was the prior resistance right here. It was support back through here. Very big area, 110. Plus, we know how the market likes to struggle around economic or major numbers in which, things that we're looking for matter, right? So even though the market is driven a lot by institutions and robots and all of this, whole numbers are still important, because it's where a lot of humans will still set orders, right? 110, like, if very rarely, this happens more on, us nerds, not the general public. Very rarely you'll see, if Bitcoin pulls back to 109,340, I'm going to buy some, right? It's more about, hey, if Bitcoin pulls back to 110,000, that's where I'll get in. So that's why these whole numbers can be more and more important. You can see we've come back into the 110s a couple times. I do want to see that 110 hold. If not, then this ends up just being a downtrend, right? You have a impulse leg down, you have a corrective leg up, and then if you have another impulse leg down, now we're talking more downtrend territory, and less, hey, we're just in a mess at these all-time highs. ETH, USD. Same kind of thing with Ethereum. Didn't quite break yesterday's low, but did have a little bit of a sell down. If we go into like the 30-minute chart, did have the sell down like right overnight. So you're talking 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock at night. A little bit of a push, but that push got bought, and now we're right back to this kind of 420 level that we've been hanging out here with Ethereum on all-time highs, or Ethereum as we base at all-time highs. Then same thing with Solana, right? We pull back here around the same time. Looks like another kind of liquidation run in the crypto markets there, and now we're right back up. And what was funny was this AVAX, because AVAX USD. This AVAX was, I forget the name. Chat will remind me. There was some crypto treasury junk company that was the one du jour yesterday, and they were trading AVAX. They were buying AVAX. And AVAX, I thought it was funny that stock was doing so well, where AVAX was selling off all day, and then all of a sudden retraces and now is up from that initial move. So we're seeing it across the crypto side. We're seeing lots and lots of these different coins potentially finding lows, potentially my fart coin as well, right? Trying to dig in here. Kind of looks like a little bit like Solana. So we're looking at meme coins. We're looking at things like Mana, which is more utility token, right? They're all kind of look the same. They have this kind of waterfall action, and it looks like they're trying to dig in there. Right, look at Pepe, same thing. Right, Sand, same thing. Litecoin, same thing. If you just go down the crypto list, they all kind of look the same, where they had a big sell yesterday, a big liquidation event, and then they're trying to dig in over and over again, right? Pengu being one of the strongest. That one's doing well, right? And then we have old Sheep with Hat. Sheep with Hat's holding on great. So more and more and more, we're just seeing a lot of these become correlated, which is one of those that makes sense as a market matures. You get more and more correlation. So yes, let's pay attention. Again, 15 minutes into the day, we have an economic number. And then 5 minutes after that, we have Trump speaking. Then 10 minutes after that, we have another economic number. Then like an hour and a half after that, we have Powell speaking. So just over, like all day, over and over and over again, we have Fed talk after Fed talk. And then at 8:30, we have Trump talking again. All right, big day. Big day for economic numbers, so let's kind of get after it when it comes to all these different events. So after talking about IBG, what are these guys YOLOing? Strikes deal to merge into Block Fuel Energy. Yeah, I don't know if that will be something that is, does that mean a buyout, a merger? You don't see a lot of mergers anymore. FTEL, a big pop here as well. So yeah, a couple of these names really moving. Some of the ones that I'm interested in for potential fades, I'm looking at some of these quantum names. So here's Rigetti, just up huge and up pretty much every day, like 100% gain since it broke out of this base right here. Feels like some of these could be a little bit too far extended. Some of the swings that I have that I'm going to keep an eye on, I bought some of this FTEL yesterday. It's up 21% in pre-market, so I will take that. And then we all talked about this. I bought some of this QET yesterday around 1850 or 1875 around here. So we're already up 12% on that. So I'm kind of in profit-taking mode just for no other reason than some great overnight gains. And with the market flirting into all-time highs and all these economic numbers coming in, I don't expect a sell-off because of it. I just expect chop because of it, and I'm just old, so I don't like that kind of chop. I like to see if I can just kind of take the numbers when they come, take the math, right, to say, hey, if I can make 10% overnight, I'd be just an insane person not to at least take some off the table. Because I know a lot of you guys, that's like, that's no big deal. I'm trading XYZ crazy company and I'm making 10, 20% a minute. Yeah, but I'm old. All right, just making sure everything's working there. So just a little bit of a sector watch. Something that I thought was interesting looking at it is if you look at TLT, which is our bonds, they haven't been doing anything. And this is the anchored view up from this major low in bonds. And then if you do the anchored view up from this major high, so we're not getting this pullback in rates the way we should expect. Hey, Kevin, I see you there. Right, and you would expect with Jay Powell lowering rates and say he's potentially going to lower more rates, and the poly market, if you look at the poly market bet, it's showing, there's my outlet. stock that I have been buying on the way up here. Where is... Yeah, Polymarket. Let's just take a second to load. So this is Polymarket on how many cuts are going to be in 2025. And now there's most like a 60% chance of 3. And so that would mean that the betting market is expecting 2 more at the end of the year. So that's the fact that that's happening, but we're not seeing that kind of reflected in rates itself, right? 'Cause TNX on TradingView, this is just your 10-year rate. You would expect a little bit more of a sell, right? This is actually when they lowered rates, and we're right back up to that price. So it's like the market doesn't believe Jay Powell that he's actually going to lower, or they think that there's something that's going to occur to prevent him from lowering when it comes to an economic disaster. But the reason that this is important, I know bonds are boring, right? Bonds are not fun. We're a day trading shop. But the reason that rates are important is because it will really affect things that are interest rate sensitive. So, for example, things that are interest rate sensitive is crypto. Right? If I can yield 20% on my cash, I'm less likely to buy AVAX. And then also small caps, right? We all like playing small caps. So, if we were more interested in seeing rates come down, or if we were looking at it and rates were coming down more, well, you would expect that we're going to have that kind of the pop in Bitcoin, the pop in Ethereum, the pop in small caps, micro caps, biotechs, right? Because that's the sector that I love to trade because there's insane volatility there. And it is slowly working its way out of this base. But just look at this long base here in biotechs. It just hasn't really gotten move at all, right? From 103 to 66. It's a huge range, but we've been in that range forever. So to see another resurgence from biotechs, I promise you guys, a lot of you guys, right, haven't been trading since biotechs have actually been moving. Often a really great sector to trade because you have companies, trying to discovering new drugs and, changing the world that way and doing all kinds of cool stuff. But if you're in a drought when it comes to biotechs, then there's just less cool things to play. So you notice everything that's popping up is just a crypto treasury company. So these are all the things du jour, right? And what I want to see is something awesome, someone changing the world, someone curing some weird disease. Because then you have these crazy moves that are then sustainable and easier to trade from the long side. It's really easy to short, right? Some junk company that's decided that they can't do their job and they have to YOLO fart coin in order to stay alive. It's quite different when this company, cures depression or, does some weird thing with some fibromyalgia drugs or something like that. It changes the game, right? 7 leader in my ETFs is ETF list. IAK. Insurance. Okay. Insurance is interesting. Hack. Yeah, I talked a lot about Hack. Full disclosure, I own a bunch. I started buying, I think it was this day. I'd have to go back. Yeah, that looks like it. It was the day that CrowdStrike broke the entire world for a day. That feels like it. Because I was sitting and thinking on that day, you can see how they bought it up all day. The idea has been, looking to buy this when CrowdStrike broke the whole world and saying, okay, maybe there'll be some diversification there. So if we're looking at Hack is interesting, getting new all-time highs. So you can go into that. You can take a look at, things like Snow. This is a very interesting chart. Had a great earnings report, big pop on earnings, then a really tight consolidation. Now it looks like it's popping up a little bit here. Asking about Costco. into earnings, I don't know. Costco's a mess, right? This is one of those names that it's gotten so big and so it's mature, I guess is the good word to put it. It's such a mature company that it can range for years and it's still a great investment because people go to Costco a lot for the dividend. If you look here from 2021 to 2024, so for 3 years, Costco did nothing and everyone was fine. So I'm wondering if Costco is going to enter another one of these 3 to 4 year bases right here. Right. So that's what I was looking last time I was looking at Costco. It does this frequently, right? This is 2015 all the way to 2018. Costco is very known for its bases because, what are they going to do? Are they going to invent Costco 2.0? Right. But this is one of those. This is why people love Costco. This is a monthly chart. So from 1987 to date, there's 100,000% return, not including dividends. It's just nuts. But yeah, I just wouldn't. It's in a mess, and this is one of those that when it breaks, if you look at these bases closely, if you just take the base breaks, it ends up being a really good trade on something like this. You sit out all this noise and you just wait for the base to break and then take it from there. So while a name like this is just in a junky mess like this with so much going on out there, I'm just not gonna go into dead money. How many trades am I bought usually take in a day? 5 to 10, maybe. Just looking for. It depends on what the market's doing. So yesterday there was like 6 or 7 trades, but you can see the SPY was just ripping, and so it took a lot of shorts. It was about a break-even day. Made a couple bucks, but nothing crazy, and I was actually really happy with that because I'm doing a lot of revision to the mean stuff with the bot right now, and shorting into this move. It's not what you want it to do because this was just an unrelenting grind higher the entire day. So thankfully, the longs that I got, like NNE, we talked about that, and SMR, they really covered all of the shorts in so NNE just ripped all day and so did SMR. And that really helped out because I was short a lot of things. So those, I think 3 or 4 names that I was long covered the 6 or 7 names that I was short and, end up netting out to a decent day. My best days I've noticed for the bot, and unfortunately, obviously, you can't know what's going to be in advance, but our days like this. Like this was a great day for the bot where you sold off a little bit and it bought some things and it bounced a little bit and it shorted some things, then it came back in and it closed right where it's open. That was a great as well. So, and then same with kind of these days. It sold off a bit, it bought some things, it rallied, it shorted some things, and then it came down a bit. So these longs made a little money and these shorts made a little bit of money. So that was good. But days that just rip like this all day are hard. So any day that cannot be a colossal disaster when that happens, I'll take it, right? I don't short overview app. Yeah, like again, that would be something that I have 25 years of data to back up each trade. So I would need to go and test that back 25 years. That's really what gives me the confidence to trade systems. Is not that I know anything that you guys don't about the market or anything like that. It's just that I can go and I can I can show you guys, I can point at the systems. What's up, man?
What's up? What's up, guys? How we doing? There's a high flyer today. Have you seen it yet?
Is it IBG? That's what Steph was mentioning.
No. It's all about BETR. Better.
What's it? What are they yelling?
Well, the same guy that loved open is now liking better. So there you go. So goodbye to your open and say hello to better.
So he was, the Carvana guy.
Yeah, now he's on better, and this thing's been going. I watched it go back to just earlier. I was watching it before it came on to Trader TV. I was watching around the 62, 65 range. It's already there to 72. I wouldn't trade this thing because it's just too illiquid. I keep
Yeah.
seeing the spread go like 200 ticks, but this thing got up to 90 yesterday, so it's going to be definitely the stupid stock of the day.
Yeesh. Yeah.
But hey,
Geez, that's $1.50 spread right now. Yeah.
yeah,
Be careful.
careful. That's just
Yeah.
that's asking for you to get in with the small size that you think is small, and all of a sudden you're like, how the hell did the number get that big?
Yeah. That's a crazy one.
It's a wild one, wild indeed.
Is
It
that an
makes
intraday halt? Yeah. So that what halted it like, wow. And then just opened up
this
here.
thing was just like,
Nuts.
yeah, just absolutely nuts, man. So we'll see what happens with it. I mean, I definitely am staying away from it, but it also explains why you're also seeing that disaster in open, as some traders say that, well, he's opening new position, might have to get rid of their open with a nasty close and the worst after hour candle that I've seen in a long time. This thing just wiped out and then came back. That's the hardest candle to get through. A wipeout candle. If you were looking at your unrealized P&L and you were swing trading, your eyes went like deer in headlights real quick. So that's how it gets sometimes.
12:30, just to answer the question there. Jesus, when does J Powell speak? I was talking about
Yeah.
what a busy day, right?
I
know,
mean, I could care less about everything before Jay Powell. Like,
you
honestly,
don't
I
care
know.
about Trump speaking?
No, I know exactly what he's going to talk about. He's going to talk about China and the deal that's been done for 5 weeks.
Yes, but no one knows what Trump. He may start out talking about that, and then he just rambles off about how he's gonna like
I don't know,
invade
man.
Greenland or something like that. No, I think anytime, and not just him. I've always said this with every president. You just be careful, right? Because and
And that's
especially this one who just starts like he's got a script in front of him, and then all of a sudden he's just ranting about how he's gonna like deport Elon or some craziness like that. So.
I mean, honestly, I think today's going to be one of those days where everything's just kind of like a given. He's going to talk about China, and guess what? Jerome's going to talk about inflation. Guys, it's done. That's just the way I feel. I think it's a nothing burger type of day. I think it's just ride the trends early, and then you're going to have some chop. You're bound to run into some chop here. Qs are chopping already this morning. I mean, when you look at the after hours action from yesterday towards 3:30, we got a high there towards 6:02, went back down 6:01. Then we came back 6:02, 6:03 area,
Yeah, we got a
right
big
back
range.
down, right back down, right back up, right back down, right back down. That's what I expect on the day.
We talk about it all the time, right? And again, if you want more evidence of this that I say is read Flash Boys. It's a great book.
Super stuck now.
The guys don't turn on their systems until everything that's going to occur that day is out of the way, and especially right leading up to any sort of big talk or big news number.
Yeah.
They just turn off. That's why, again, great book on Flash Boys. It just talked about how all those flash crashes we used to have before they added the halt rules, because they just had all these systems that looked like there was tons of liquidity in the market, but the systems were designed that the second the market got too volatile, they would just cancel all orders. So you had these just, again, flash crashes. You just had these like vooms in the market, these like liquidity voids where everyone would just turn off the bots, and then all of a sudden there's nobody there bidding and there's no one there offering. And you're trading the spread on like the S&P 500 would open up to a point or 2 point, which is just insane if you think of it now. So that's, again, whenever I look at these events, that's where my brain goes. As someone who's built some of these bots, I just know it'll be okay. There will be a lot of kind of low volume chop, and then an event will come out and you'll get a move, and then you'll probably go back into low volume chop until everyone is done chatting whatever they're going to chat about. And man, it's a long day for Trump. You think he's taking a nap midday? Because he's got a chat here at 12:30, and then he's got another one at 7:20. That's a big day for an old dude. I think they get a little room in the Oval Office, a little futon that gets folded out, and he can take a little nap. Because, to be honest, man, if I had to give 2 speeches like that day, I'd be exhausted too. And we are open. So right off the bat, I'm just taking a look here at the at this low, so this is 601.76. This is the low for the Qs from the kind of the pre-market and the post-market. And then we also have the high there for both of those as well. And that is 602.96. So this is kind of the after hours range that I think we need to clear.
All right, guys, I'm managing LAC today, guys. I might have to get cut out of this today. It's a real frustrating one. Yesterday was up there to 330s, was doing pretty well, but it's dropping a little bit this morning. A lot of volume came in on the 310s, so I'm trying to let those 310s hold, but we'll see what happens there in LAC.
Too many requests. Oh, I got a failed. 1 second here. I got a failed. Sometimes the bot right off the open sends so much to Signal Stack that it goes, listen, bud, relax.
Yeah, you're overloading me, dude.
Yeah, I need a... But thankfully, it sends a nice email and says, yeah, I didn't fill this order because it was
VIX
too much.
spiking right out the gates. Q's dropping a little bit there.
7. Wow, geez. Okay. 775 on. I'll summarize plug. PLUG. Sell. Okay. Another too many requests. What a busy day. SB.
All right, guys, Rigetti up right out the gates. QUBT ripping higher. RCAT to now almost 12. Man, I effed that up yesterday. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Ion Q doing really well too. Grail, the stock that I talked about yesterday on the playbook, just taking off, guys. It's already from the playbook yesterday, up 12%. So that's been a good move. UMAX starting well. Mara going up into the green. Hood ripping up a little bit higher. But looking to see what turns around today a little bit. But there's some strength here out the gates. QUBT has that opportunity to rip through 21 today. We'll see if it rips through that.
All right, so we've got a bunch of trades right off the bat, all to the short side. So pray for me there. SLNH.
Coin looking good also.
SLNH. Is that it? Yeah, so short this SLNH, whatever this guy is. Saloon Holdings. A little bit of a mean reversion play there. That one's working. Vuzi. VUZI. Short that name as well. Plug Power. PLUG. This has been an awful stock for just ages. Look at that. From 2020 all the way down. A little bit of a short on that. And DYN. DYN. A therapeutics company. So we're short on that name as well. So just busy morning. A lot of trades going off here. So monitoring a lot of those. And, you know, it is what it is, right? That's what, when you have days like this that are gapping so much, you have a lot of that kind of mean reversion type action. A lot of things that are working well. But just like I did yesterday, now that I know that the bot is working, instead of paying attention and watching the names and the P&L tick up and down, which doesn't serve me at all, I've got my email open because they'll send me an email, which is I just think just awesome when something breaks, right? So when something breaks, I'll have an email sent to me. So I've got that set up to refresh every second.
Got that BETR on the swing E valve here. Gonna take a shot.
Crazy. Long?
Long. 20 shares though.
So this guy loves going after, let's see, BETR. This guy loves going after short stuff. Right? He did it with, that's not crazy, 8%.
All right, guys. Well, I got here 69 right on the dot. So I put out a limit at 69. The spread is really, really wide, but I felt like it was like a place to bet. And then I bet 106 off the bottom. I already put the stop out there. It's through the low of the day. So the same strategy we play and we talk about often, why not try it on something as high flyer as this? Let's see what happens, right? It doesn't mean that I'm going to get it. Doesn't mean that it's not going to work. But sometimes the only way to test things is to actually take the trade.
IBG that Steph was playing halted to the downside. I hope you're short. Again, that dollar level is a big one, because if we lose that buck, especially if you look at this, obviously we only look at closing prices. It's been under a buck forever. So they're going to get that, or have already gotten that dreaded NASDAQ letter that says, listen, boys, we're about to boot you off. You don't fix yourself. And if it can't close up there, even the fact that it was up there doesn't count, right? It's only closing prices that matter. And I think it's got to be 60 days or something. I think it's 60 days of closes. Don't quote me on that.
Stock getting drilled today. Outster, OUST, drilled out the gates here, down 6%.
Let's take a quick look here at the SPY. Nothing. Just absolutely nothing. This is a good one, again, just to watch and to say, hey, we are still range bound. I'll do the same thing. This is the post-market lows, minus just that one little weird tick. And here is the post-market highs. So all of the sectors here are just completely and utterly range-bound, except for the IWM. Good for you, guy. IWM rocketing here off the open. So it looks like people are betting on interest rates here.
Good move here and better now up towards the high, going for the breakout. There we go. We got that bad boy. That's what we call ourselves. A little sound on that. Let me share that up, guys. Sorry, I'm not ready to go here.
Locked in here.
Just all about Michael's charts. Here he goes. You guys see it there. I'm ready to go here. There it is. Nice little lift off there. Can it take off through the 75 now and get towards like a halter? That's what I'm looking for. I even took off the stop here just as I'm watching the tick to see if it goes a little bit higher here, rips through the 75, then really goes towards the 80 is where I could see it kind of taking off to. So.
Yeah, IWM just ripping here. RSP, your equal weight stock ripping. So, I try to, and then the Qs are down on the day. So just, again, talking about the rotation that we're seeing. Definitely not a big cap tech day. This is a day to be looking at small regional banks, junk like that. Probably healthcare, XLV is probably doing well. Yeah, XLV is ripping here. XBI, down just a bit. XLF, financials, ripping. Definitely one of those days, right? There's got to be some big guy, like a Tesla or something like that.
All right, looking good there now to take the 74s and go through the 75s. We'll see if it gets that on better. All right, looking around also to see what else is trading up there. On the day, we did have Rigetti rip out there, but now FLNC is leading the party. It's doing the same pattern it's been doing forever. Pony, another name that's been hot as of late, so keep your eyes on Pony. And then we'll see what happens. Hood, a nice little push, and then right back to the VWAP. We'll see what happens on that one. AMD call out this morning on Trader TV was a move undercutting 160 back up to 162. Boom. Literally to the key. Undercut 160, 159.80s, back to 162. Literally couldn't call it better than that, right? So at least that one's a good call out there. Wasn't able to trade it myself, but hey, I'm just drilled in right now, focusing on LAC to see if it's going to undercut this 3, then I get washed out, but focused on that trade. All right, we'll see what happens with better if it wants to really rip. It's pulled back to the 9 EMA. This is where the rebuying could happen. AMD, same thing, rebuying right on the 9 EMA. Let's see what happens. And then Microsoft is a name that I'm keeping a close eye on to see if it reverses back up today. But better, still doing really well there. We'll see if that can continue to lift off there. Now holding the 9 EMA. Now I'd wanted to see it take off, guys. I could even add here, but the problem with adding in a stock like this is that you ruin your average really quickly. So it's better off to just maybe stick towards the original and let it send, right? Like give it room from your entry, and then you're calm about it when it does this, like right now, like it just pulled back like what, 50 cents, a dollar. You're calm if you're far from it. If you're right near it, you ain't going to be calm, right? So That's the key with a name like this. VIX jumping. Now that's one name that I definitely will keep an eye on. There's the Q's takedown. What I talked about today seemed like a day where I think too many traders are starting to make this, thinking that this is too easy. The market will calm us down real quickly. VIX jumping.
Depends what you're looking at, right? So we have RSP, we have the equal weight, so the average large cap stock up 0.5%. We have IWM up 0.75%. So definitely there's got to be, I haven't looked at it, which there's one of these big cap tech names that are keeping us down. There it is. So Nvidia. Nvidia is kind of causing most of this sell off. We look at what Apple's flat, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. Ooh-wee. There we go. So it's Nvidia and Amazon. Look at Amazon's chart here. Just falling out of bed. Down 1.5% on Amazon. And that's why you notice up here, this is the major indices. This is important to keep an eye on because we have Q's down 0.18%. We have the SPY flat. So SPY hasn't done anything. It's literally unchanged. But then you look, MDY, your mid caps, up 0.5%. We have the Dow up 0.5%. We have IWC up 0.5%, which is your micro caps. We got small caps up 0.5%. We have RSP up. So when you see this bifurcation, it tells you that there's just a couple names out there that are having a bad time. So I just started going through the Mag 7. You can also just look at MAGS. Right? So MAGS is down today and down even more than the Qs and even more than the SPY. So this is a rotation out of the Mag 7 and it's rotation into small caps, micro caps, right? You could also just say growth versus value if you want to go that as an easy way to talk about it. It is a rotation under the hood type day where you're getting some stuff that's ripping, you get some stuff that's not doing too well. So just make sure that if you're in the stuff that's not doing too well, you got a plan. You got a plan to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, like my trade right here, I'm already 1 cent away from stopped out there. More than likely going to take a stop here in LAC. And it's just one of those tough trades where it was working really well yesterday all day long, even closed really well, and just got hit overnight. And you can't do too much about that. And what I'm seeing is there's a bigger player at 3 that keeps reloading. So I'm giving it the tiniest amount of room here off of 3s, but that's not going to save me if they keep kind of targeting these lower 290s. So I'll probably get cut in that one, and it was looking really good yesterday, right? And so it's kind of one of those where it's just tough action overnight, and that's how it goes sometimes with these smaller names.
So AMZD, Tag is pointing out, is short, but it's only 1x short. Oh, these are those for, I think the reason they have 1x shorts is so that you can put them in your retirement accounts. You can actually trade those because a lot of places you can't trade leverage. But again, let's take a look across the board. Right, small or micro caps are winning the day. Right, followed by mid caps, followed by your average large cap, followed by small caps. And then to the downside is the Qs. So the Qs are getting led there. Lower.
Better just, I think, halted in 1 second to the downside. In 1 second.
Oof. Yeah.
Literally less than a second, I think it was. And it just halted like that.
No thanks. No thanks. I'm good. I know myself. I'm going to get myself in trouble for sure. So here is, I can just post. I forget to do this kind of periodically. Here is, I can, no. Copy. So here's the current holdings of the bot. And you can see short, just these 4 names. Hasn't been any trades since then. Just those 4 names to the short side. So we're just waiting to see if there's anything else that comes through. So far, you can see all of these names are positive. So a pretty good day to get started with here. Now, if the market continues to sell, I guess depending on what we're talking the market, Qs are the only thing selling off. There might be some long positions picked up, but the fact that most stocks in the world are up and all of these shorts are working out, I will most certainly take this LSLNH, whatever this thing is, just doing great. So, Luna Holdings, they just hold Solana. So what's
So Luna.
Oh, looks like data centers. Looks like an actual legitimate company that actually does and make things. Good for them. You know, if this
AMD big pullback right back to the 161 spot there. We'll see if it gets right back up there. It looks interesting here on at least a dip buy, but the Qs would definitely would have to come back here.
Yeah, so we have MDY making new highs still, IWM new intraday highs and new all-time highs for those who celebrate. Congratulations, new all-time highs. There, RSP not quite, but getting to close to new all-time highs. The Dow new all-time highs for those who celebrate, and the SPY and the Qs just middling around, with the Qs being much worse than the SPY. And again, a lot of that is Amazon. Like, this Amazon candle is wild. There must have been some news there. Nope. Okay. So Amazon to close all of its Amazon Fresh UK stores. That's what's happening. So a little bit of a failure there from Amazon, shutting a bunch of stores in the US. That's what's happening from the Amazon front. And that's really dragging us down. If you look at that, that's, you know, being a Mag 7 component and being down 2%. What percentage?
Long AMD in the day trade account, guys.
QQQ is yeah, Amazon is 5% of the Qs, and it being down 2% on the day absolutely makes sense why the Qs are down, the rest of the market's up. That's the only thing that you need to see. So they are they're leading this decline. And then if you add Nvidia to that, which is down 1.5%, and Nvidia I think is like 7%, 9%. Holy smokes! So yeah, 15% of the fund is Amazon and Netflix, or Nvidia and Amazon, and both of those names are down.
There you go. AMD looking a lot better here. Grabbed AMD there on that dip. Talked about it. Took the shot there on the day trade. We'll see if it gets back up to the 162. Come on. Get back there to 162. I'll sell it at 162. Even 161.80s is not too bad. Like trendline approach sell. We'll see if it breaks out. I'm just not expecting many breakouts today. I'm expecting the chop. Remember I talked about how trying to stay in the range, undercut support now, and let's see if we make a move to resistance, right? And then do we undercut support again and kind of play within that?
Well, and right, this is, you can see the big spike we got off of that first number that just came out here, the PMIs, which came perfectly in line, I think. So sold off a little bit the second that number came in here. We can go through here. Right, so we sold off. Second that number came in, we rocketed. So we're close to today's high and all-time highs on the SPY. The IWM really reacted to that number. Look, it was right here. So right on this candle is where the number came out, and just huge rip on the IWM. So I think PMI is one of those inflation dealies, so it must come out in a way that makes the market think that rates will be lowered, because a huge rip there in that particular sector as soon as that number came out. It's right. If you go to a 1 minute chart, you can see it was right here. Right, this is when the number was released, 5:45, and then in 1 minute, this thing just rocketed 0.25%. So, IWM doing great. Again, new highs there in the IWM, new highs in the Dow. The SPY still flat, up 0.03%. So no movement there. Just showing us that rotation is giving way. A lot of oil and oil-related stuff. We have OIH, which is oil services, breaking out. XES, which is another oil equipment ETF. That one's breaking out as well. XOP, which is another oil. Why do I have 3 oil services ETFs on my list? Big move there in oil. Big move in software. XSW is software. Software about to make a new all-time high. XLE up 2% today. What is just CL? What is just oil as a whole? Yeah, oil up 1.5% today. So energy has been a big thing, which makes sense. There's a lot of energy names in the IWM, which is up almost 1% now. So it's getting carried a lot by that.
All right, at least lithium LAC at least calmed down and now is getting back above $3. So as long as it can hold 3 now, I'll hold on. Undercut and rallies are kind of common on swing trades. That's where you got to really got to know your support and watch for wicks through, right? And that's just going to happen. You're going to get tested. So make sure that you can give yourself that little room there. Even for me, I think I'm a little bit too big and I'm just learning the game, right? Because the truth is that big lately has helped actually because things have been really working, right? And so sometimes that's going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? So that's just a part of the game, and we got to learn and make sure that we're making sure we know where support is so that when we get tested, especially if we're long, we're not being too pressured at that moment, right? You're not like this is life and death at the support, because if it's feeling like that, you got to adjust there. You got to adjust it. You can't be feeling like that. One area that I am seeing breaking out here, Michael, is the industrial sector. And I did see more and more talk about Boeing being included in the China deal. Boeing is not getting the lift on that, but Boeing's already gotten the lift. So I'd keep an eye out on Boeing later today. You see if Trump mentions that in his speech, and all of a sudden you see a takeoff. But the XLI moving higher tells me that maybe it's a better bet is to take the XLI here through that 154. It looks really nice and could start going to 155 and breaking out to a new high.
Well, and it makes sense because XLI is pretty correlated to XLE, right? So when energy moves, it makes sense that industrials are going to kind of move with it. So you're getting a nice little push there on both of those names. Yeah, huge energy day, huge just small cap day. Small cap's doing great, but yeah, the energy sector, just seeing XES, which is a oil and gas equipment company, is ripping 4.5%. That's a huge day for something that's generally speaking a pretty boring sector. A couple new shorts I'm looking at here just came through. One is Macy's. So took another short here on Macy's. Again, this is the pullback type play. It's just looking that Macy's had a pretty weak day yesterday, an unusually weak day for the stock, and then go in, just do the regular trading hours here to see. Yeah, so Macy's had an unusually weak day yesterday and then bouncing into that range today. So it's looking to take a little bit of short there. This is the reverse of the SMR type play that I talked about, where yesterday it had a strong day and then was pulling back. Macy's had a weak day and then is bouncing. So
All right.
still 100% short, and with most markets ripping, I kind of hope we chill out. IWC microcaps up 1.5%. IWM just broke 1% higher and new all-time highs.
All right, just cash there in AMD. It got towards that 161.80s, and now you might go into a little bit of that range bound where it pulls right back to support. I'll try to rebuy it and sell it again. All right, just buy it, sell it. That's the way I'm viewing it right now, especially in this market. I think we're going to get some chop today, so I'm trying to trade the chop. VIX still holding at the top end also. It barely pulled back on that recent rally. So that tells me more and more, watch out for takedowns, right? And just keep watching that.
Yeah, so next up, we just have old Trumpo. He should be up there yapping about something. So
Yep, and when he yaps, there might be a VIX spike.
yeah, again, even if everyone knows what's on the agenda, just start saying, you know what, I'm gonna bomb XYZ company or country because I feel like it.
Well, you know what's the latest talk, right? There, it's all on, like you mentioned yesterday, that Afghanistan talk. But what is it? Is Afghanistan working with China?
Well, and the big thing with Afghanistan, which is interesting, is it's a lithium play. Right?
The energy play within, right? They're building the canal. They're doing hydroelectric. They're building even an ability to eventually transfer stuff to China, like quick. And this is all being led by the Taliban. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting stuff. I'll be right back, guys.
Sure thing. So, yeah, we continue to rip here. I've got my boy Walter Bloomberg out just in case something crazy happens. Again, you'll see it in the price first, and then you'll see it in what happens. Just the way it goes, right? Price always leads us. And so far, price today has been amazing. Again, Qs not doing well, right? Qs are flirting with lows. Every other sector here I'm watching is doing fantastic. Again, I just said I just put out a tweet, right? One of these things not like the other. If you look at this side here, green across the board and then a little bit of a red there. So just showing that, again, we're getting that kind of split here. The only thing I'm seeing is from Walter is Trump urges Democrat to be realistic. So doesn't affect the markets, so I personally don't care. And this candle on the IWV, not the IWV, the SPY, right here is super interesting. It's not only is it unchanged, like actually unchanged, the exact price that it closed at yesterday, but within that, we haven't really moved too much, right? Sometimes you get, doji days like this one where you have a big push down, big push up, you close right in the middle. This is just we opened up and we haven't done nothing. We just kind of been hanging out here. So let's see. We got the sign of the beast going on.
All right, guys, I'm back. One thing I'm definitely seeing is the market weak right now. Q's very little bounce back. I thought it'd get back to the 602 range. It just rejected that range, so we might break the low right now and go a little lower, maybe towards 600. So I'm taking a bet here on a shot that I got caught yesterday in, which was Ion Q. We'll see if I'm able to capture it today. But definitely using a little bit of my green trade that I have. I have $100 to play with. I'm going to use about 88 here to see if I can capture Ion Q to the short side.
So, IWM, right, going to
IWM is the place, man.
Yeah,
IWM
highs.
is the place. That's where the money managers are going. That's where the fund managers are going, guys. That's where the money is going.
And look at
That's
this
for
on
sure.
RSP, right? You talk about a buy program. So again, those who don't know, RSP is the same names that are in the S&P 500. It's just not super weighted to NVIDIA and Apple and Tesla. So this is a better representation of what the average large cap stock is doing. You can see just lower highs or higher lows on this is a 2-minute chart, on every 2-minute candle from here. This is a buy program. This is someone said, I want to own small caps, just not necessarily NVIDIA, Tesla, Amazon. I want to own everything else. And this has just been bought up with every single tick that's happened today. And we're flirting right at highs here. So,
All right, guys, looking at Rigetti as it starts to tumble here. I already got Ion Q well, but Rigetti's a huge rip out today that could fail here. So it's a tough trade. You have to risk about 50 cents right now towards like 30.50 or 30.25. So just keep that in mind. It's not easy here, but I do see the trade available.
yeah, it's funny. I was actually talking about that one I expected the bot to be able to take a short on that, but it looks like it missed it before you got here this morning. I was just saying, right, for the fade trade,
Yeah.
that's been a bit too much, a bit too quick. But so far, there's been no trigger on that. There's been a lot of triggers, but no
I mean,
trigger
it's
on that
definitely
guy.
extended. It's one of those where it's just going to keep hitting short. So, as a shorter, what you need to do is you need to be small until it works, right? Until it really shows you that it's just flushing, you want to be small. That's the key, I think, right? Building the position or staying small enough to stay in. Like a Jesse Livermore, right? You want to be the survivor first. That's how you win in the position game. The survivor first, and then you can position up.
I always find it funny that we quote him as traders so much, considering how it all ended. I won't talk about that on YouTube, but if you want to Google how Jesse Liver,
There
I
it
saw
goes. It's going down
something.
right now. I might take a shot here. I'll take a small stop on the swing.
Let me see if I can find this.
Yeah, let's do $18 here. Just open it and let it fly. Let's see if Rigetti just tumbles here. So I took it even on the live account, guys. So just to put it in perspective. And LAC is coming back. And what I'm going to do here is, I think, very important. I'm just going to set the risk where I'm okay with it, right?
Ooh, yeah. That's a great looking candle on LAC.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's, I have big sizing and I got to be really careful with this, right? So what would it be? Below 310s. Below 310s, warn me and I'll get out.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to put the stop there because it's going to come back to 310 if I put it right now. So the key here is to just like very, very closely watch this and let it develop. It needs to get where? Back to 330s where it was yesterday. If it doesn't get back there, I don't even want it at the end of the day. But if it gets through the 330s, this could be that undercut and rally that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, just anytime I see a candle like that, retail doesn't make this. Is why, just for the audience, this is why I like candles like this. Retail does not make that. That doesn't. Retail doesn't tank a stock down 6% on the day and then rally it back up a couple days later. That is an institution that's looking and saying, "Oh crap, I've got a good discount on this. Let's, we wanted to buy this for whatever reason. It's gotten to some trigger price we have in our system. Just step on the gas." But back to our just Livermore conversation real quick. Someone did this, which I thought was super interesting. And this is, they inflation adjusted Jesse Livermore's net worth. And this was his boom and bust. So I won't go through all of them, but started at $187. And then in 9 years, he was worth $1 million. And then in 14 years, he lost $28 million. At some point, he would have been worth $1 billion, and then he gave it all back. And then it's just an interesting. I'll share this. I'll post this somewhere that you guys can see on Twitter or something. But it's just crazy to see how much money this guy made from trading, like billions in inflation adjusted numbers, and then had a couple times where he just kind of gave it all back and just went all back to zero. So.
All right, staying close with my trade now in IonQ. I actually reloaded in there, so I got like 150 shares now. I'm up. I was up about like 120. I'm up like 70 right now. I'm looking for the flush down, but if it comes back, what I'm going to do is willing to get out and then look to reload. This is the area where if they're going to knock this down, really, they're going to flush it. It's going to be quick. And so I think the same way that I'm short on the Rigetti trade, it's like the VWAP rejection here. Above 30s, it can squeeze again. So the idea is I'm shorting a squeezing stock, so you have to know your levels as tight as can be. If you disrespect your levels, you get runned over.
Yes, that's what there's actually a question there I wanted to answer for a second here, right? It said,
let's go to that. There's a little magnifying glass that helps you find it too. I use that too. I don't know about you.
Can I get an opinion? If you take a shot and you're wrong, but you have faith in the buy, do you drop out and take a loss, or do you hold it for a couple days? I absolutely. If you don't have a stop, if you have a stop but you don't honor it, then what's the point of having a stop, right? I just look at that as a slippery slope. I would rather get out. And then if it gives me more evidence, I'd rather get back in. I'd rather take 2 small hits on a stock than 1 big one, right? Yep. So if you like the stock at 10 and you put your stop at 9 and it hits 9, get out. If it gets back to 10, you still like it at 10, right back in, right? I'd rather just do that than to take a hit that's too big, right? Just quick update on, just go into here on my swing's been a great day. If you look at all those are big P&L numbers here, but yeah, still short everything in a market that, unless you're the Qs, is going higher, with IWC up 1.5%. So again, the only things that are new here, I think, is Macy's, which really hasn't moved, and whatever SKBL is. So, wow, I've got your LAC chart up.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying my best not to look at it. It's one of those where you look down and you're like, oh crap, I'm almost back to break even.
Yeah, that's one of those. It's like one of those, if that goes green on the day, I am taking that off all the screens and all the watch lists, because this is not again, retail doesn't tank a stock 10% and then rip it again, right? That's someone got stopped out. And there's a large institution that used that as their trigger to say, well, good, we got this. We liked it yesterday at 330, so we love it today down 11% from there, and just have it reverse and go.
Yeah, and the key here is that like I'm fighting myself, and so like we could have a conversation. This is a great conversation to have when you're fighting yourself, right? Let's bring in my man Kevin to the conversation
Oh,
too,
I
right?
muted my
Oh,
back.
hey, hey. How's
What's
it
up?
going,
What's up,
guys?
Kevin? It's good to see you, my friend. We'll talk a
Hey, good
little
to
bit
see you
about
guys.
some
Yeah.
trading out there. I'm in the live account, right? The live funded, and I'm fighting right now, right? Because I have one position that I feel like is a little bit outsized. That's the LAC, right? We can talk about that, right? But I'm also now green on Rigetti. So it's kind of like, oh, well, you're not doing too bad today, right? You might need to kind of hang in here a little bit and see what happens. But that's where it's a battle, right? Because the LAC looks really good, but I have that feeling, I'm a little outside. So the question is out there for traders, what would you guys do in this situation? So that's the fun part. So I'll kick it to you guys. What do you guys think in that situation where you feel like you're a little outsized, but the position's kind of working now?
Well, if you didn't cut it when it was down 10% on the day, like cutting it now just feels like an escape from pain. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Some risk aversion, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah. Yeah, I like what Tax said, or plan the trade, trade the plan. So, I mean, what was the
Mm.
original analysis for you? So LAC, where are you in at LAC? I'm pulling that one up.
So I have 324. That's because
Okay.
of the ad. I had originally like 318, but it was up to yesterday 330s, looking really good. It's lots of volume coming in. I saw even 200,000 shares traded on one order, and then I kept seeing reloads at 3 today. And I've seen a lot of size down there that came in at 3. And you can see it on the chart, right? Right around 299s, you see a lot of volume
Yeah.
start to spike there. I saw like a 70,000 share order, things like that going through there at the 3 spot. So like Michael said, that could be a bigger buyer that's setting up at and willing to reload at 3, right? Looking for the breakout above the resistance, which is 4 and above, right? So I think this has the trade set up there.
Yeah, we're all the same way though with the human behavior as far as outsizing certain trades, and then
Oh yeah.
your judgment gets clouded, so you don't actually see things objectively. But I'll tell you, like looking at if I can show my chart here too
Yeah,
on
let's go to
uh,
yours. Let's get to Kevin's
for
screen here.
LAC, I got
Boom.
Thinkorswim up here.
Gotcha.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, for myself, I love this. I mean, that lower wick is something I would look for as an entry signal to risk off of. That's where
yeah.
Yeah.
buyers just stepped in. So yeah, if I was in your shoes, my risk would essentially be back down, towards the lower end of that wick at this point. Where's your risk at?
Yeah, I'm looking at like 310s below that because that's the
Just because
area
of the
that we're
okay.
undercutting and kind of recovering, right? The 310, the wick from yesterday, the 309, recovering that area could act as support now, right? Like if we break 3, of course, you probably want out. But this also gave you an opportunity, what's called the throwback look, right? So like I have the trend line on. I'll show you guys the trend line. I'm just going to switch to mine just because I had it already
Yeah,
drawn here.
great lower wick.
But the trend line there, you see that trend line, right? That green line
Yeah.
here, it lines up perfectly with kind of like the breakout attempt that you had here in July that kind of failed. Now you're getting that volume over and reload. And like we talk about, they like to squat them. They like to scare you before they send it. This is the
Absolutely.
exact feeling. Like I'm feeling scared, right? That feeling, that emotion. This is
Mhm.
real trading talk, guys. This is what you don't get on those other shows, right? So this is
Yeah.
the stuff that I think is very important for you guys to take a look at and learn from my experiences, whether it goes well or not. I think that's the important part here. Learning from the experiences is how you can truly adapt and up your own trading game out there. So hope you
Yeah,
guys are
if it's,
enjoying the action.
if it's me, I'm looking at it as saying there's some big dude who just defended the shit out of that wick at under
Yeah.
$3.
Yeah.
So I'm putting my stop under that wick and I am taking it off my screen. And I'm saying I'm setting alert probably up in the 340s, 350s. And I've got my stop below that wick at like 294. And I'm saying I'm gonna lean on that big guy. Because if it starts to come back into the 310s, 3.5s, he might come right back and just start buying where he may have
Yeah.
some mandate that says, hey, if you can get this thing under 3, do it. And
Yep.
we kind of just saw that where he goes, okay, well, it's under 3, so I'm gonna hit the button real hard and just buy a shit ton and take this stock that's not in a liquid stock at all and kind of really go with it.
Out there on the Ion Q move there as it comes right back up for the break even. Still took green. I got like $30 there. But it did come right back up towards the 73. Could reject the 73s here. But what are we seeing? Qs go back into the range, right? So this is what I talked about. Like, I think this is what we're going to see a lot of today, right? A lot of little choppy. We extended the range. We went back down towards like the 601. Now we could just kind of slyly go up there. I'm looking 602.50s. So remember I talked about rinse and repeating AMD. Let's go do it.
Oh, so this is what Trump's talking about. So he just started 1 minute ago, and it's the UN General Assembly. So this isn't going to be an economic thing. So it may not move markets at all. This is just him talking about, pay up, kind of the same speech he's always given at the UN Assembly. So I wouldn't take this as market moving type events. That might
how's the team doing out there? Steph, SLE, that one's had a lot of good volatility.
Bring the small boys in. Bring the small boys in. Kevin, take control of the stream. Let us know what's moving out there and what's happening.
Yeah, SLE's been this one's been moving since the close yesterday. 320 up. They came out with some news yesterday that they are raising some capital for a private placement. It's lower flow. Super League gets $10 million investment from a certain fund in the cryptocurrency investment company. You guys know what's been moving lately, this sector. So SLE's been, what do we got? It's like a 786,000 float, 41 million. Shares have been traded, so it's been rotated. That one's one of the leading plays right now. I like what Mr. Noss brought up. I actually took the short there alongside you on SLNH and rode that down this morning. This was essentially, hangover-ish, and that's why I like to look at. But yeah, this one closed strong, had a big move pre-market this morning, so I've been riding that one pretty much against that $3 area, SLNH, and then outside of that, I'm working. Another hangover this morning, AGRI. AGRI I've been kind of just slowly fading this one. Here's the chart there. Yesterday, big move. Today, I got my line 520. Was support yesterday, AGRI. I've just been slowly fading that one out of the gates today.
All right, name that I wanted to trade today. I'm just keeping everyone alert with it. Joby was on the alert. Joby and Archer, they've recovered the 16 and doing really well. So keep your eyes on names like that.
That better that you brought up too, BETR hit some resistance from yesterday. That one's been just kind of slowly pulling back a little bit today as well. But a couple, look, that FTEL we brought up in pre-market, guys, that thing shot straight up, and what goes up, gravity takes on over. That one's heading back down as well. So let me know what you guys have been trading. As well, IPDN, this is the pre-market strategy, guys. IPDN, that formed a little head and shoulders pre-market. 520s was support. We got a pop out of the gates, short into that against that ceiling of resistance, 520s, and profit along the way. So that pre-market edge, I like to trade that. Just shorting into that resistance.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure thing.
SLE hitting some resistance from 11. Yeah, so Noth, I asked you earlier, so QUBT, was that the same strategy, at least the same bot that took the QMMM trade?
Multiple. Yeah, but this was a swing trading version of the same thing.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
It's looking at weekly candles instead of daily, but the same idea is that it's looking for, with a bunch of caveats, of course. It had a super strong week last week, and then it pulled back into that range and into kind of the VWAP area of that week, and then held there. But oh shit, I see our boy Josh here. So don't pick your nose. I'm pulling you in. What up, man? Oh, he's focused. How you doing? A little. There he is.
Mr. AK, yeah.
Yeah, QUBT was the same idea,
Okay.
and I took an SMR and an NNE yesterday off that idea as well from a daily chart, and it's pretty simple. It's just look for a strong day one, something that closed near highs, right? It didn't give much back at the end of the day, and then look for that to continue, but instead of chasing some sort of breakout, because I've tested that, what happens if you kind of take the break of the prior day's high? That ends up being a losing strat. But if you wait for pullbacks, then it ends up being a pretty good winning strat there.
Excellent work. Tim, yeah, think or swim. I am using that. Guys, this is why we look left to predict right. And Josh, I know you were on likely IBG this morning. I want your analysis there too. But look at this resistance. Always looking left to predict right. We see the 120s holding up, the magic 20s that I always go over. And then what do? IBG, we get a euphoric move today. It kind of forms a descending triangle in pre-market lower highs towards support 110, cracks that out of the gates and gives another entry. I know Steph was looking to take this as well. Popping up towards that 20s level that was left of the chart and pre-market resistance for a snap and halt on down. So that was ended up being an excellent move on that trade. Mr. Josh, what have you been looking at this morning? Let's swing it over to you as well.
Yeah, no, you were talking about it earlier with the called it out right away. Do what? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can hear you. I just didn't see your chart. See if you can get your chart back up there.
Am I not working?
Can you not hear us? We can hear you.
You're good. I'm sharing my screen, so I don't know.
Okay.
We'll wait.
That's weird that it says I'm sharing my screen, but when yeah. That's weird.
Well,
That's weird. But yeah, back to what you're saying with IBG. I talked about that in pre-market as it was spiking up. I told every trader, I was like, go 145. Go, like you said, it's past chart history. Go up and to the left, find your area. And that was a gorgeous short at 145 area there in pre-market.
AGRI snapping even further, guys. This hangover set up again. I mean, trade multiples of these. Like Steph, trade the IBGs of the world, but then have some of those hangovers working in the background too. I want you guys to take note of these hangovers because they're highly profitable. Or it's essentially like take IBG today and watch it again tomorrow. Don't just watch it today, but watch it again tomorrow as it bleeds and profit takes. That's the whole idea with that setup.
Yeah, to be honest, from all your strategies, that hangover one is the one that interests me. I always look at it as like a competition game. There's going to be just way more competition in these things that go crazy today. Like what was Mitch trading this better? BETR, this crazy thing. I just look at it, it's like everybody's trading this thing today. So then now you're trading against the big guys that are out there. Tomorrow, everyone's going to forget about this name. So, right. But like even QMMM, there's people who try to short it on day one and they've just got murdered. But that thing's had a 30, 40 point range for like the last 2 weeks. And it's just been much easier, and less of a chance that you're just ruining your life by trading it. I
am in QMMM right now.
Oh, yeah? Long or short?
No, short. Today, I just have a tight stop towards like 108.9. But just like what you just said, why ruin your? It was cracking me up. You guys were early. I think Money Mitch was saying like you go in such a small amount of shares. Like I took a short 10 shares on it at $100 and lost 500. I'm like, how is this happening in the blink of an eye? I couldn't even set the stop. It just happened so quick. It's so much easier backside, like you're saying, when there's less attention on it. Why give yourself the heart attack today when you can have a heart attack tomorrow? No.
Well, it's competition in general. It's why you don't see a lot of people like back in my day, spoken like the old man. We used to just go to whatever the highest value name is, and you'd scalp it. You'd scalp Apple. You'd scalp. At that time it was like the banks, things like that. And then you got giant hedge funds with HFT systems coming in and competing there. It's like, well, why most traders I know who played that game as soon as HFTs came in, they're like, well, I don't want to compete with Goldman Sachs. That's not fun. So I'm just going to sidestep you entirely and do literally anything else and end up being a great move for them, right?
Guys, I want to point out something.
Back like a track.
Like IPDN, look at this little descending triangle. I mean, they're and then SSKN, look at the descending triangle. You can wait. You like Nas and I are suggesting you don't have to get involved in the shorting directly into that euphoria. You could wait for a more predictable setup, to develop like that descending triangle.
All right, guys, still in that better on the new swing account leveraged. That's the maximum count. I'm right now at 65.74s. We'll see if that better finally takes off, man. I'm taking a shot on that thing to hopefully make a good $600, $700. Let's go for it.
Mr. Josh, what are your thoughts on SLE now that we're in a halt down here?
I actually had orders in at top, and they didn't get filled the first time around. So when I joined you guys, I canceled them, and I had orders. I called it out at 11:30. It was after hours high, and it was a lot of filling in pre-market. And I said 11:30 is the area to short, and that was the area to short. I just wish I would have left my orders in now, but I didn't, and so now it's halted down. I'll probably leave it alone, see if it pops back up to that 960 area. See if we can't crack back down to the low 8s here, and if so, then maybe look for a reversal back up top. But yeah, that we've seen a lot of that today. A lot of reversals up top, and then a lot of halting back on down.
25,000 share order in that LAC at 317, 30,000 share order at 318s. That's what I want to see. Continued flow of volume.
Robot just shorted some NIO here.
NIO, I like that.
My ears perk up when I hear what your bot's doing because they're like that. SLNH was excellent.
Like no one on their in their right mind on their daily chart would be like, yeah, I'm going shorting NIO. But that's why I like it.
Look at this 720, dude. Look at this 720 level.
Yeah, the key here is that it's on the daily, it looks really bullish, right? Like it's holding short-term moving averages, holding prior resistance as support right around that 7. And so in that mentality, you would be like, oh, I'm long on this. That's why it makes sense sometimes for the short, at least for the intraday short especially.
Yeah, so this is, I'll pop over here, but this is essentially just, and again, if we take SMR, for example, yesterday, NNE worked as well. But all it's saying is, okay, this is an unusual outside move, and now it's pulling back into that range, and that's why kind of right here, that's where we bought, it's like 42.50 or something, bought SMR, right? And then came all the way back to the high here. I'm experimenting with maybe selling when it gets that new high there. And then if you look at NIO, it's kind of the complete opposite. This was an outside move to the downside. You can see that the last time we had a big downside move like that was like right here. It's probably easier if I do this for now, right? So last time we had a big red move. Really hasn't been a red candle that big in a while, and now it's just bouncing back up into that range. So the idea is that there's probably some people in there who are looking to add to their short or defend a short position, or they were long yesterday and they're looking to get out. So it's like 7.15 or so. It's shorted. And again, I can just bring over all the positions here. Again, all to the short side, which I'm not too happy about with the fact that everything is up so much today. I'd kind of preferred if it was the other way around. But if we get a little sell later in the day, oh, come on. I just got to shrink this image a bit. But yeah, if I'd kind of like it better if it looked like the market was going to go down today, but it doesn't, at least not yet. But we have a lot of positions here to the short side. Oop, yeah, that works.
Here's one that looks interesting. USAR, just to put it out there.
No, excellent. I see lots of green. It's good.
Lots of green for now, except Macy's of all things. Macy's is the one that I'm short that's against me, which is kind of hilarious because like the worst company. But you can see Macy's is the same play, right? This is an uncharacteristically down play. And I'm looking down from open to close, not from close to close, right? So what does the candle look like? And then it's bounced back into that range. So the idea is potential short there as well. And again, you can see the NIO. It's just been yelling at me, NIO, here for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, SLE, great work, Steph. I mean, that excellent there. Hitting that 11, Josh went over, still selling on off. I mean, 10's going to be hard to reclaim at this point. They oftentimes gravitate towards that level. But then when they get back under it, that's difficult to reclaim. So we'll see what it's going to do from here. But it looks heavy, looks like it wants to go red on the day.
Hopefully, that would be the hope here. And then it's what I need is the IWM to chill out, and it's just been really strong today, with just in the last like 5-10 minutes, things pulling off just a bit. Go on the street, see if Trumpo's said anything.
Pretty short eye on Q here, looking for the breakdown. We'll see if we get it. Qs just look weak, man. They don't want to get back to that 602, telling me more that we could see another VIX spike and then some takedown coming in here, especially towards 1030. Next 5 minutes going to be very vital on those stocks that are holding on.
Trump praises the stock market rally in front of the UN. They're like, okay. And also says nuclear weapons pose great danger. So in case you didn't know, those are the things.
Oh,
Addition-
man. Dude, Nobel Peace Prize. Give it to him now.
He is the first one to tell us that. I thought they were like super safe and fun to like play with. And
Yeah, I thought that's what you do on July 4th. You play with nuclear bombs.
yeah, so that's about it. So it makes sense that this isn't going to be market moving. It's going to be the same stuff of, right, I'm great, blah, 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 blah. So no China deal, not yet. Maybe that's for his next speech that he's doing, later in the day at 7 tonight. But yeah,
Oh yeah, that would be the perfect. That sounds like he's gonna wait because he knows Jerome's gonna pow the market, and then he's gonna be like, "I can't come in." Do you think he gets Jerome Powell's notes now that he has a Fed insider?
Oh, maybe.
He has an insider on the table. You don't think he hears about it? That person comes reporting every day. Like, Jerome said this. Jerome said that.
I hear the cartel is going to be smuggling Tylenol across the border now.
Be careful with that Tylenol, man. They're coming after it right now.
SSKN popping up towards the descending triangle $3 area and small cap land.
USAR looks interesting, guys.
That's at least so heavy.
USAR starting to pop there towards 17. This looks good there, guys. We'll see if that one takes off. This is a miners play, like a metals and minerals play that looks really good, guys. It's been holding in there. I talked about it today. Let's see if it really takes off through 17. USAR.
Yeah, the rare earth. I remember
You talked about that last month, didn't we, with the USSR?
Yeah, the thing is, look at you.
Didn't we talk
The
about
name
that
that I
recently?
like. I like to talk about you. Just you keeps on going.
You. Yeah.
It just keeps on going, man. This thing's been ripping out, and it's a metals and minerals
What's
play.
the heavy short interest here?
Just very similar to like MP. Very similar to MP, so it's running with MP. You see MP getting the new run. Well, I'd take a look to see if these names start to move. I also talked about a valet, VALE, and it's pushing, guys. Oh, man. Sometimes when you have too many plays, that's when I need the bots, because literally, like right now, it's like the list is like 15 plays, right? And so in this case, it's just too hard to look at them. Valet looks awesome today. That looks like it wants to break 11 and keep on riding on. That's a known runner too, that VALE valet.
Yeah, there's only so many like you can really have on as us just mere humans. Like when I have more than 4 or 5 on it, it gets a little complicated. Of course, you got your order OCOs out and whatnot, but I like to have more out than just 1 or 2. It helps me to like see them more objectively. Like looking at Nossa's, all his tickers he's involved with. It's like, okay, what's working, what's not working, and you could you work the ones that are green, you take off the ones that are red. But when you're tunneled in on one, that's when I make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one has to work out,
Well, and you want to talk about kind of the removal of emotions, right? When I'm in 10, 20 positions, I obviously don't give a shit about any one position, right?
Yeah.
So a kind of diversification of the mental load, if nothing else, right? It's, I can just simply sit back and say, I don't really care about any one of these names because, right, there's tons of them. So I'm looking at kind of net P&L and net positioning. Like right now, again, I'm 100% short. So I'm hoping that at least for the day, the top here is in for the day trades. And it's hilarious because then on the other side, I'm 100% long on my swing. So I'm hoping for a rally there. So it becomes conflicted, but at least I'm not Again, I don't care about any one position, and that's for me. That's where I get in trouble when I've got only one position on. I'm like really concerned with what that position is.
Yeah, same.
It just depends on how you like to go about things, right? Because some people really do like high concentration, right? Because that's just what they're trying to do. They don't care what 5 other stocks do. They care about that one stock, right? So like there always is, man. There's gonna be 1,000 ways to skin a cat, they say. I don't know why you'd skin a cat, but hey.
There's 1,000 different ways of doing it, though.
There's 1,000 different ways of doing it. It was like that show that was out for
Yeah.
a while, like 1,000 Ways to Die or whatever. There's plenty of ways to die,
How
bro.
do you know this, Money Mitch?
Oh, I remember it on Spike or whatever.
You staying strong, guys. That's why I like that USAR here. It's just more do I
Yeah, I never
wanna
got
go
that.
there right now.
Never got that thing.
Yeah, I never got that saying either. It looks like in the back in the old days, the days that Trump talks about, with the cat eating days. I guess they were skinning cats.
Guys, SSKN. I mean, we just talked. Look at that. Pop right up towards that descending ceiling. Rejected off of it. not bad
SKIN.
idea.
Are you short in the
SSKN.
skin? Oh, I thought you were skinning skin.
Exactly. The relevancy here.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. What about that SLE? You guys like that one today?
Yeah.
Super League Enterprise.
SLE's looking heavy. I mean, I would size down and give it some room just because it's the main play on the day. So how I would do this, if I'm not trading it right now, but if I were going to take a position, it'd be like size down into a quarter of what I normally do and just risk off the highs.
And we're not seeing many hold their gains, right? In at least this last, let's say, 3 or 4 days. What are you guys thinking about that? Because I know you guys keep up with this. Are we starting to see a little momentum go away from the high flyer small names?
I think so. I was saying that last week that it just seemed like after Bria and the other play, I forgot what came out on Friday with the same private placement, 150 mil, whatever. That news started to not really work. And then, you're seeing it even more so through this week. These plays are popping up hard in pre-market. I mean, y'all brought up the one earlier. I think it was, of course, SLE, but there are a few plays that popped up really hard. Oh, FLE, you brought that up, Kevin. But look up DBGI. I mean, DBGI was a play that went up, and it's all the way back down to like $5 right now. So,
well, that's
seeing
like
a lot more of that.
I got a lot in chat that find so much success like getting up at 4 or 5 and trading these because if we went through 5 to 10 tickers this morning, a lot of them are doing this kind of a move. At 4, they shoot up. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe you guys know, but at 4, you just get that squeeze up and then you get this kind of a move. That happened with the DBGI, and then it was FTEL. I mean, this one similar thing. 7 to 19 back down. SLE did that right at 4 as well, and IPDN did it too. Yeah, look, right at 4 a.m., 10 up to 13. And I remember IPDN did that as well, right at 4 o'clock, just shooting straight up.
There's news reading bots, right, that are just looking to say, okay, this is this is the news. This is what we expected to happen from, and they just gobble up all the liquidity they can find, which is generally not a lot at that time.
I know. I'd be scared. I mean, I'd be scared having those bots on at that time, because of just the nature of these plays. Like we've discussed before, you just get straight up, straight down. There's not a lot of like consolidation, and
No, because they've got some estimate on what they think the news impact will be, and they just they're just go in and get that. And that's all that matters. And they can only grab so much liquidity because there's not a lot out there in the morning. So they're just trying to kind of gobble up whatever they can get. And in these cases, looks like they were dead wrong.
Things looking heavy out there, man. They just can't hold. They can't get back to 602, telling me more and more that we could still do another spike in the VIX, another move down in the Qs. We're just not getting that same kind of push. There are some stocks still holding on. Still, RCAT, man. I destroyed that play yesterday. That could have been a monster winner. Up there to 1250 and beyond. Of course, yesterday, we're looking for that to break the 11 area. I mean, that thing's gone now. Seeing clean spark and the miners turn around here, so those could start to get shorted into. We'll see if those get hit.
Yeah, speaking of energy, this little penny play NUAI's just hit near that magic 20, getting rejected off of that, but up from 60 cents at the close yesterday. I like these penny plays because oftentimes you'll get that dollar move. I know you guys, Money Mitch and Nos, were going over it earlier, and they reject hard. I mean, yesterday at the close it was AGTX, I think, ADTX.
Some of the best, man. Some of the best of the above $1, right back down below $1. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it happens very often. There's a predictable nature to it, because of that level.
here's a smaller name, not as fast moving, but still looks good. AUR. I've been watching it on the daily. It looked good today. It tried to get above 615 and break out. Now it's kind of struggling here. We'll see if they reload it towards like 6 or 605s.
But traders, this right here, AGMH is an example of why you got to keep these leading gappers on for multiple days in advance. Because this morning, this one got a spike up, and again, you just have a lot of longs buried in this. Like Nos was saying with his SLNH trade, once you know that you have longs that are trapped in this, you can trade essentially that as resistance on a pop multiple days later when this thing tries to pop again. It's just by nature going to be a much weaker pop. You usually do not get these things reclaiming those levels just because there's a lot of extra resistance, like longs looking to get out break even.
Little bounce in that AUR, looking at it for a potential long, but this market is just holding me back a little bit. And we talked about this, how we could have a little bit of a chop session here. Like on a regular basis, I'd go long AUR right here. It's just the way the market is looking. It doesn't make me feel like opening up a bunch of positions, right? We talk about how the lull sometimes can just make you overtrade. That's what we're seeing right now. It's a lull since 10 a.m. Market, at least the Qs haven't gone anywhere. Let me see the SPY a little bit more. Yeah, SPY even weaker than the Qs. So just to point that out.
Is Trump still talking that we know?
Probably the game.
No, he talked to.
No one wants to make a move because no one wants to see what Trump's going to do. USAR looking interesting. So we'll see what happens there. This nice setup. It's a nice setup, right? Nice kind of pendant. You can call it a descending triangle. We'll see what happens there on USAR. Valet, how's that one looking? Pulling it back there. 1090s would be kind of the long on that. AUR looked good there. It's starting to come back. It's just hard to long with the market struggling the way it is.
Yeah, well, again, for the day trades, I hope you're right there because I'm short everything.
I mean, what it is right now, it's a leak, but we haven't gotten the elevator move. The elevator can happen, and you're already in, Michael. So, that's better what you want to be in, at least. I think if you're trying to catch a bigger move here and you could get that real takedown, it could happen at any moment.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to, again, I don't. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Josh broke everything. Here,
The
hold on.
market makers.
Josh,
Evil market makers are coming after you.
Right, you can hear me, can't you? You can still hear me.
I had a
There we
duplicate
go.
of
There
you.
we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I
We
moved
got-
over to the editor.
we got rid of the
I just
bot.
thought I wasn't in the editor version. I finally got hooked up.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
we got
he
rid of the
leveled up in
bot
life.
Josh, and now we can bring in the real Josh. there.
Yes,
Yeah, the AI one.
I'm
There you
here.
go.
This is actually me. Hey guys, how we doing today? How we doing? I am looking to trade Meta here up top, so I am looking at Meta. It's pretty nice. That is one play that's actually
Meta,
still moving.
I like it right
that
now.
V-shaped pattern. Okay.
I like Meta. Good mention there, my friend.
Yeah.
I do like Meta here.
Love
and
it. Love it, yeah.
I like it off that 760, right? So at least you're using kind of a level below. You undercut it today, 759, 760s hold. We could be back up to 790s. It's all about sometimes even understanding the range. And here you're looking at a 2.4% move up. And if you risk to the 760s, you're risking 1.12, right? So sometimes it's just about understanding the range, and that itself can give you the ability to get after a name like this.
Morgan
WTU.
Stanley to let E-Trade clients trade crypto
Oh my
directly
God.
on their app. Interactive brokers potentially as well. That would be interesting. That'd be great. I could. 'Cause right now I've got some money in Kraken, and then
Is
I've
that
got
why
most of
coin
my
is
money
going down, maybe? Ooh, what about
maybe
a potential short on coin based on that?
they are using Zero Hash as their kind of founder. Because that's Because I the second interactive broker is like, yeah, you can trade every crypto out there. First thing I'm doing is I'm pulling my money from Kraken. Just might as well put it all in my interactive brokers account. Just have more buying,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of times that money's sitting just completely in cash because there's nothing to do from the
Let's see
crypto
what's
side of things.
doing well in the 15-minute charts here. The last 15 minutes, I'm looking at what's been moving, right? So I'm going to look at the 15-minute charts and what's moving on the 15 minutes. That looks like a nice little pattern there. QBTS, UUUU continuing to go higher. Bull getting a little lift today. Ion Q up there. Grail, I talked about this name, guys. The Holy Grail is going, guys. The Holy Grail is ripping, and this looks beautiful. Glad I was able to at least call it out yesterday. It was one day late, I think, really, to get in there at 41 would have been the better shot. You never got a shot yesterday, and this thing has been taken off. 3 advancing soldiers, right? The green trade is on there. FLNC, this might finally pull back today, so I'm keeping a close eye if it breaks the 10 like 70s, because I know you were even trying to short this name yesterday, Michael. So I kind of like it there. I jumped in on it and it took a little bit of a cut down yesterday, but we'll see what happens today.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that ended. Again, the bot
This
was
is another
shorting a lot
breakout.
yesterday.
Guys, this is a nice little undercut and rally. I think this is one to watch. A lot of traders watching this as an AI player, and they have now levels to go off of. This 80 just looks really strong. 15-minute breakout, back to the upside as it undercut the 80 today. So Rubrics, I don't know if you guys know that one. It's an AI name, and it's getting the love. Lemonade, I've talked about it. It doesn't want to go away. So you might want to look at insurance on that one. That's an interesting one. SoFi continuing. Let's see if some other names start to join the party. Tempest, Docu, UMAC. Those stocks have been absolutely ripping. RCAT and those names. Look at RCAT now, 1250. Talked about this yesterday for the break of the 11. We're talking 13% from yesterday. So it's a really great move out there, guys. AMD leading up there to 162. That can help the Qs. The Qs went right back to the 9 and reject, right? So more of that lull.
Yeah, even the
Tack, I
Agri
got
one pulling in just a bit.
OPEN. I got a letter from OPEN the other day in the mail, advertising to me. But yeah, here's the chart, Tack. I mean, it's on this trend. It was basing in the 10s, which likely, it's going to be heavy there. We'll see if it can bounce off of the 720 line here, though. But this is the trend I got going on. What are y'all's thoughts on the good old OPEN?
Still in. They're still short.
The
so I'm
door
still
is
in.
closed
Still.
on open. The door has closed, man.
Shorts are getting comfortable again.
So the major, I guess, long on this play with switched over and went to that better. He hasn't said that he completely sold out of it, but I think some traders are thinking that he did. That's why you saw that after hours cut down to like 7.
Yeah, I don't think he said he sold any. I think he just likes another stock as well. So
That's the key. It's kind of like the meme days when, let's say, like when GME's guy, Roaring Kitty, went over to Chewy, right? It caused a spike in Chewy, but then it also caused kind of like a lull between them both. And so that's, I think, what's at play here with Open. And of course, what are they trying to do? They're trying to wash out some of these longs, right? All those longs that were longing at 9, they're washed, right? So that's the key there too, that you've really put the pain on some of the bulls.
NUAI still in play, guys. Still trying to hold that dollar. Curious what the $1.20 is going to do there.
Another sign, just to mention, Zillow's been getting destroyed. Remember, I talked about that for weeks, that when Open would really get hit is when Zillow got really hit. It's been really getting hit hard.
Sava.
Yeah, I think like it was funny. I saw that in my Discord earlier with the open door being shut. That was a good one there. Hey, Liz, just like a lot. I can go through many tickers. Hims was one of them. You get these nice, good runs. You're not the bullish sentiment's not going to last forever, and so you enjoy that ride up and squeeze out some shorts along the way, and you kind of get a little sideways movement once you get to resistance area.
Yeah, and it's just.
By the way, am in on the. I got out of the meta long, and I'm in on the short side at high of day resistance for the reversal here on the way back on down for meta.
Okay.
Q's still struggling, guys. Rejected again. Let's see if the VIX finally starts going here. I'm gonna take a bet on the VIX.
Now, Michael, weren't you long on the open trade, right? And you got out, I guess, at 10 or something like that.
Yeah, so I got in around
nice.
3, and then I got out most. I think it's 2/3 at 10, and then yeah, my game plan for the other one, as long as these guys, we know where they're short from $1. The fact that it's $7 again, it's that it's the whole like meme of prices not seen since last week. It's like literally last 2 Thursdays ago. It was at this price. So it's certainly not falling into bed or tanking or anything like that. It's just pulling back to where it was 2 Thursdays ago. They're in from 1. It's at 8, right? It's like they're still really underwater. So my game plan is the first time I see the new short data come out and it shows that it's sub 20% that a lot of them have covered, then I'm just going to kill the rest, because I don't know if I believe the guy's story that this thing's going to be an $80 stock or something. That doesn't bother me at all. But right, it's like I've taken enough off the table that if it went to 0, I wouldn't be that bothered. So, but yeah, it's at 8. It's at 8, right? It was at 8 on Thursday the 11th. So it's really not too much. It's still inside that kind of overall bullish bull flag range. So until something dramatic happens on the stock, or until I get some sort of indication that a lot of these guys have covered, I don't know. It's all noise, right? Which is hilarious that a 20% move is noise, but when you're trading this kind of stuff, a 20% move is definitely noise.
Yeah, I just think that also the rate outlook has changed since this first started to pop, right? We actually got the cuts, and then we got more mentions that rates will not be coming down in 2026. So I still think, I know that everyone calls this more of a meme play, but I still think it's more of a rates play.
Well, and the way I look at it is it's the same as I've been pounding the table bullish this whole time in the market, is because the positioning was offside. Right. Yeah. So whatever,
agree with that.
You can, whatever rationale you want to make for why the market went up, I just look at it and say, well, the market went up because everyone's short. Everyone's still short. And they shorted more last week, the crazy guys. So I just look at it, same in open. If you go to this, I'll grab this, go to the chart here, right? We know that most of them are short under $1. And you would hope that as things were rocketing, these guys were covering their short. They shorted more. They shorted more last week. So they shorted more around the $6 area. So even the most recent band of shorts are still hurt, right? So Everyone's having a bad time here.
UMAC on the VWAP, RCAT at the resistance. We'll see if it continues to party along, guys. Josh saying that he's adding on the meta. Took a little bit more. There you go. Get after it, man. Catching up with the chat.
Your RCAT, man. RCAT's a really good one. I mean, that's what for slow and steady traders. And I know you're always trading that, but for traders that don't like volatile movement, RCAT's definitely it's a money making machine. For sure.
It was a pretty move, guys, and the best part is I called it twice on this one. First called the first break, right? It first broke out at that 9:50 to 11. We called that breakout. Yeah. Then we literally yesterday, I talked about how it just seemed primed to now go through the resistance, because I was looking at UMAC first on Friday. That started to lead the party. This is why I talk about leaders to laggard. There's a relationship play there. One leads, one lags. Sometimes they're going to switch. In this case, UMAC is leading, and it's had itself a 37% move. And then RCAT, since that Friday, has had a 21% move. Leader, laggard, right? It's just as simple as that, guys. And I think sometimes that's why it's so important to play the relationships, right? So like if you're going after quantum, why only play Ion Q? Sometimes it makes sense to just split the money out. Maybe I'm going to go for a little bit of Rigetti, a little bit of Ion Q, a little bit of QBTS. I'm going to trade them all long and see which one I can actually get into the green. Maybe hold that one, cut the other one small. That's how you catch a run, because it's a lot of times in day trading, it's about timing, and maybe you're off timing on one, but you might be right timing on the other, right? And then the next thing you know, you have yourself a good play, right? So,
Yep. Yep.
especially
me
riding
one
the trend,
spaghetti.
right?
You said Rigetti, and now I want mom spaghetti.
So the ones that are going today, I talked about it, and just so it doesn't get away from us, Joby Archer already going. And this is the one, what is it doing? It's playing off the sympathy of RCAT, Archer. Now they slide down to air mobility.
Yeah.
Look at Joby, look at Archer. Kapow, kapow. Sometimes it's like, it's literally like that. And I was talking about it on Trader TV, and they were enjoying it, putting up the little gif of bam, bam, because it was like that, man. And there it goes. And the fun part is one of their favorite hosts loves Joby, and he was like, "Don't say anything bad about Joby, Mitch." I'm like, "No, it looks great, man. It looks great to go." I talked about slight undercut of 16 and rally. Literally,
Right.
these trades are just perfect, and they keep repeating, guys. These undercut and rallies. Joby undercuts the support and rallies.
Jeez, what's that FCHL?
Love
you
those
posted
red to
there,
green
Kevin?
moves.
Yeah,
Holy
you
smokes.
interested in a dead cat bounce over there?
No.
That thing's halted down like 3 times.
Look at this.
Oh my! I don't see any news there.
Here, let's go to that one. I know no idea about that one.
Wow. Nice 50% down move and halts.
Can happen in a hurry.
No, thanks. That's why when you guys trading this crazy stuff, I'm like, I'm good.
Well, this wasn't crazy until it was. I don't see anything going on here. No news, no volume until that around 10 o'clock. Yeah, just elevator downs, man.
Yeah, I was thinking it was an offering, but yeah, that's nuts up.
Right.
Oh,
I
let me
don't
see
see
if I can
anything on
find-
it.
When everyone I mean, I was watching your video, Nos, on why halts were established to begin with, and it's essentially, I mean, similar to this that happened, right? You said you were working at a prop firm, and then just a halt down after or it wasn't a halt down, but the market was just tanking. Everybody was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, they were thinking nuclear war. Again, it was roughly after, it was like 2008 or 9, so everyone was thinking like another 9/11 or something. Like they're like, well, something's got to be going on here. There's no way the Dow just tanks 10% intraday, like in 2 minutes, and ended up just being one dude put too many zeros into a trade and hit go. It's just wild. There was just nothing that would have stopped them, and I guess he was too shell shocked, because obviously the move is, if you just tank the market 10%, you just start covering like a madman. You could have made a wicked trade out of it. But yeah, he was like, I don't know what to do. Just some trader on some desk somewhere just almost destroyed the global economy one day. Everyone's like, yeah, we should come up with a way around it. I think the way they picked is stupid, but I get why they did it.
I think it was literally put to screw the smaller man, but not the bigger man, right? When you think about it, they were only protecting the bigger guy. They weren't protecting the small guy there. They wanted to protect the banks and liquidity there. So that is the complete like trick to tell you that it was for retail. Majority of rules created, I mean, are never for retail. They're just to try to give an unfair advantage towards retail. Majority of the times.
Well, I got to figure something out, because the retail's got all the advantage now. Look at that positioning data from the August lows. Retail is killing it, and these hedge funds are getting destroyed. I love it.
That's the way it
I'm
should
all
be.
for it.
That's the way it should be, man.
Retail bought the dip. Everyone else came up. All the institutions came up with some reason why not to buy the dip. Oh, tariffs are bad or whatever it was, and bam. Again, I think this all ends. We're gonna get some news reports gonna come out one day of some hedge fund you never heard of before just completely imploding. And that'll be after like a 5% up day on the SPY. And we go, oh, it was that guy. That was the guy who short 200,000 contracts on the ES.
AMD got
I get
back up
scared
there.
when I do like 20 contracts.
Well, that's the net. That's the net positioning on the ES right now is 225,000 contracts net short. Yeah. And not only that is they've been short from the April lows. So, you know, the notional unrealized loss is in the billions. And someone's just sitting there. Imagine being that guy. You have to wake up every day. You look at your P&L. If you're down a couple grand, you're us. You're sad, right? That guy's looking at his negative $1 billion P&L. It'll come back. Don't worry. I'm just gonna add a little more short up here, and then eventually, it's like okay.
SLE trying to get going back up through the 950s. We'll see if it gets back up through that 950s. NUAI right at the VWAP. That's that $1 VWAP play. There's some software name Next. Are you guys seeing that one? The NXXT.
I recall that ticker. NEXT or NXT?
NXXT.
Gotcha.
Two X's with a T.
Yeah, the nether.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
insider buy. Director buys 35,000 shares. Okay. 60 grand worth. Congrats, bud.
That means, you load the boat. You put the mortgage. No, you don't. UAMY with that also USAR play. These are very ones that have been going side by side. They also move like UUUU. So the UAMY right back to the VWAP. We'll see if that goes back up towards the 8. There's a slight undercut on SLE on the $9 spot there. Let's see if it starts to push off this $9 spot. So you got this slight undercut. Needs a push, though, if it really is going to go. We'll see what happens, SLE. No position for me. Just calling it. BKKT, this thing loves to
Just being
ride.
the commentator.
Yeah. Just add into the tape there. BKKT, that thing loves to run when it runs. It's running today. It had insane volume yesterday. Low volume today, but someone knew this was going to have either some good news today or something because, man, they loaded the boat yesterday. And for them to play that much on a very range-bound day yesterday shows me more and more. They know something. I think is ripping. BKKT.
BKKT, the Backett.
Yeah, Backett Holdings.
runner.
Previous runners. You got to know those. You got to know
Crypto
them.
deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah, look at that thing, though. Look at the amount of volume that loaded in it yesterday. 19.5 million shares traded on like a harmy-looking candle.
Backett jumps 40% after naming crypto vet Mike Alfred to the board.
Oh,
How
because
are you
no
a
one knew this yesterday.
Well, and how is like you're a crypto vet? Crypto's been around for like 4 years now. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm a veteran in this space.
Dude, if you've been around since 2020, you're a veteran now. But yeah, that one is one of those where it's like no one knew yet it traded like 10 times the volume it normally trades yesterday. Good Lord, man. Crime is legal out there right now, guys. Be careful. Like, how does this is the
Watch
kind
out.
of stuff that the
It's funny. I
SEC
just remember how you remember
actually go in and hit somebody. Somebody should get hit for this, but they don't. They don't. That's just that way it works, man.
No.
It's not about logic.
Yeah, I noticed that a few years ago. I was like, man, I thought this was illegal.
It's only illegal when they don't
Not
want you to. When they don't want you to. The people behind. Yeah.
Big club and you ain't in it.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, boys.
Because, dude, that's
Let me
ridiculous.
in. Let me in.
All right, guys, we'll start wrapping up. We'll change it over to the big boys here. The big boys trading the little boys.
Careful.
You like that? You like
We'll,
that?
All right.
we'll get you this. We're not playing Roblox here, man.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Still in on that LAC. At least that's coming back. One tells me to hold on. I'll be looking at like ALB and SQM that are the leaders, right? Leaders lead. Laggers lag. LAC would be a lag in this case. Want to see the names in the lithium names go higher. ALB, SQM will tell me to stay in it, right? As long as those can keep chugging along today, I'll chug along with them. That's going to do it for me, at least in the live account. Swing account definitely took a hit there on that that high flyer. That what was it? I already forgot the ticker. That's how quickly.
Better.
She said to me. Better.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go,
BP.
Kevin. Thank you. So I took a hit on that one. Good trade on AMD. Looking around to see what happens with other trades. SLE is one watch here off of 9. We'll see if that gets going. But of course, when I get going is when it usually flies. Last words, Michael. Anything?
Just continues if you're not a large cap stock, it continues to be a great day with the IWM up 1%. And just know we got JPOW coming along. to mess it all up.
Powell.
So whatever happens before JPOW, just disregard, right? Come back in the afternoon when he's done. One of the great things to leave you guys with these small caps is they don't care about this stuff, right? But if you're looking at overall market, you got to wait for JPOW to leave.
Interesting name, QUBT. I'll just mention that again before I get out of here, just because it just broke VWAP and that daily chart looks interesting.
I'm in.
We'll see what happens. Boom, boom, boom. All right, guys.
Later, guys.
All right, removing Michael, removing myself, and kicking it to the boys. You guys have fun and good after it, traders.
Let's get it.
Eminem out.
Hey.
Eminem over to Skittles. Over to the Skittles. Yeah, I didn't join that at first. I forgot about joining the editor version, so that's why I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
Kevin sent me to the.
All right, there. Some boys got the rugs.
I feel like
and
we're on
we
I Dream
came
of
back.
Jeannie now.
There you go. Helping out.
Appreciate that. Let me see if your chart pops up too. Yep, there we go. Thank you, Money Mitch. Appreciate you in the background helping us out. All right. Yeah. There's CR Trader
Background
in the building. How's your day going, CR Trader? What you working right now, Josh?
I just got out of Meta. It was just a small win. Testing yesterday's reversal at the closing bell right here yesterday. That massive reversal and then high of day. I got a little bit of that rejection, but I know after I get that 15-minute candle to close back up top and turn green, I got out of it. Small win there, nothing major for META. Now just sitting back and waiting. I do like Joby here. Joby here for a bounce play back on down. This may just continue up, but I like taking some sloppy seconds, so to speak, from Money Mitch. So he traded RCAT, and I wouldn't mind maybe possibly getting a move on RCAT now on the way up here. But yeah, that 1660 looks good with this move down to maybe 1645 for a bounce play. But that's it right now. I do like SLE if this can get back up to this 1130 area for a reversal and a short up top as well. That's what I'm looking at. Those are the two plays. One long possibility and one short possibility, my friend. What about you?
Yeah, SLE. I went ahead and threw a feeler on it because I'm not sure it's going to be able to get up there. I do like it, that double top, if it were to reclaim the 11s.
Right.
Volume's dying out there, so we'll see if it can reclaim. That's why I like feelers. Just throw them on there, and if I plan on going like a few hundred shares, I'll throw like 100 on it and kind of just keep me interested there against the highs. And it gives you the opportunity. Oh, here's SLE snapping a little bit right here too. Let's see what it's going to do. Yeah. 860s.
Yeah, Paul brought up that first main area that had a decent amount of failing this morning too as well, which is this 950-60 corridor at that VWAP area. And that's why I would go smaller here, just thinking that it could pop through that real quickly. But again, that's why you're saying do those feelers in smaller.
Yeah.
You don't have to always go so big on them, but that definitely would have been. It's a nice area, but we're not quite getting back there. And I've noticed that in the market we're in now, where sometimes we'll get to the area that we like, and then sometimes obviously we're not getting there. But that's one thing I'm waiting for on SLE, with just patience, especially when you get to this time of the day. You get an hour plus in, volume starts to die down. You get most traders, of course, you get M&Ms like them, they're stepping out for the day, kind of calling it a day. It's typically where a lot of the time you want to just focus in on maybe one or two setups and take that, not really over trade here, because volume is dying down, which does not help your trading out. And then for large caps, just like Michael said, waiting for JP to talk. I was just small here for this reversal back on down for Meta, but Meta is very bullish. But that's the thing too for SPY. SPY is so tight today. Going back over to it, I'll just want to bring up the SPY. Yeah, you knew something was going on today because we haven't moved at all, and I could tell that in pre-market how tight we were with little range, and so it shows the day that we're on with Trump talking already with JP later. So it's just one of those things where depends on what ticker you're moving. Better you'll probably be sitting on your hands until later today.
Yeah, I've had it. Some guys in chat before that have gotten like slaughtered off of just random things coming out when they talk. You just don't know. I mean, that's why you see that hesitancy out there. Yeah, because there have been times where you're trading and then all of a sudden everything collectively that you're trading in large cap land just shoots up or shoots down.
100%. I had a lot of traders throughout the years. I'm done trading large caps. I can't do that. Well, next thing you know, someone does this happens. Someone's talking. You forget about it. Next thing you know, what was a good position and possibly even a trade that was working in your favor is not, and it's completely in the opposite direction, and you're getting hammered. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things you have to pay attention when you're trading, what you're trading. And I usually like too, which is it's definitely risky and compared to other trading and volatile time. But I love the opening bell. If you find the right play, the opening bell with those large cap plays, you get a good, $2, $3, $4, sometimes $5+ move. Because then after that, then later on down the line, yeah, you're going to be worrying about what's happening, who's talking for what reason, etc. So if I can get that first move 30 minutes or so, and then I know I'm good. But then after that, you have some of the time at 10 a.m. Eastern, whether it's the Michigan Sentiment Report or there, something that comes out there and you're not paying attention, or Trump starts talking, like he did today, or whatever it is. So you have to pay attention to that 100% anymore. I noticed that it seems like in 22, 23, that really became a heavy trend, where before that, yeah, we had bigger movement, because of COVID, but we never really, at least I noticed, it wasn't JP's talking, so watch for the market to explode, or this, like in pre-market when you have the PPI and CPI data come out and a lot of the other stuff. The volatile movement that we'll get sometimes is crazy, where you'll move sometimes more in pre-market than you used to move. Like when I first started watching the SPY or any of those tickers that move, because they all, like you said, collectively move together. When that happens, they'll move more than they used to. Like when I first started watching 2018, 2019, there wasn't a lot of range, obviously, as compared to what we're seeing now. And then it's just crazy to see the PPI, the CPI, the Michigan Sentiment Report, or the non-pay farm rolls, whatever it is that comes out, and the stocks just ripping all in one direction.
Yeah. I mean, well, and in small cap lane, these tickers have a mind of their own. They don't really, so a lot of these don't even.
Oh yeah, and I've said that for years. Yeah, because I've had that for so long. Traders ask, "Well, what's going to happen? Is this blah, blah, blah?" I'm like, listen, they're in their own galaxy. They don't even listen. They do their own thing when they want, for sure.
They really do.
Mind of their own, 100%.
I mean,
but yeah, for sure. It's definitely different than it used to be. And I'd say even for small caps, it seems like we're in a different space as far as, and you're going to notice that the longer you do this, you're going to have those trends change in large caps or small cap space. You've got to adapt to them and understand what's working and then trade those setups. Still have that 770 fail area, which I was talking about earlier. I think Paul even talked about that, retesting that, which again I just went ahead as we were approaching, this area, because when I short the top, and it's going to be that way a lot of the time, when you short the top in resistance, if you're not right, which again, you can see it's low of day from Friday and the reversal from yesterday, right through this area. If I'm wrong, we could fly straight to 773. It could go. And so you have to be very tight with your stop loss up top and have a game plan. There's a few traders in chat that short the top, more often than I do. And you have to have a fixed game plan when you're shorting the top.
SLE coming back down a little bit towards the 850s. I got a little piece left there. CR Trader, excellent work, killing it. FTL, that one. Whew. That was the wild west on that play, if I remember right. Yeah. Oh, but it was a gorgeous. I'll show you. Yeah, that was a good play. What was your trade on it, CR Trader? I liked this open pop up towards the resistance, like hitting this in the 15s against like 18, 19-ish. But yeah, that was excellent. Good trade there. And then IBG was excellent as well. I mean, a similar setup on the pop up towards pre-market resistance. Beautiful work there. on that trade. NUAI, kind of a miss for me. 115 would have been nice against 120-ish. But SLE right now, SLE, let's see what she's doing. Trying to hold, I got a line here around 840.50. To go in red on the day is going to be right around 770s. I mean, it's feeling heavy. Volume slowing down. We need to see what it's going to do down around this level here, though.
Yeah, Paula asked about SLE too, just to answer that. I would just, Paula, in that area, I just don't know where the volume is going to be at by the time we get there. So that's going to be the key, in my opinion, Paula. Although, yes, you have had times where you crack through, say, that low of day, and then there's a volume burst, whether it's stops getting stopped out from longs, et cetera. But and just be careful in that area, because right now it seems like there's a lot of that volume supply demand zone from like 8 to 9, in between the 8 and the 9. So I just don't know if we're going to get there. And if we do, what kind of liquidity that we're going to have below, once we start cracking through this area. It seems like all of it's right through here,
Yeah, the SLE, it's a tricky one. I mean, because there's not really volume much elsewhere, small cap land, so this may turn into a market maker chop fest.
You're all over it, my friend. Yeah, because I'll go across the board this time of the day and just go to different places that I feel like we could maybe see a pop, and or go to different, chat rooms, and or the people that have free chats or whatever, or free charts up on YouTube, and just see what someone's talking about. Is there a lot of people talking about the same ticker, and when you don't see that, it's slow in small caps. It's a very slow day if you don't. Where is I see a C play running. What is this C play? CCCK. But this says it's not popping up for some reason here. Am I not seeing that correctly?
Would you try to play with C play? Okay. Yeah, I didn't C play. Not sure. Yeah, SLE got heavy. Go ahead.
I was going to say it was X. I was reading that wrong. CCCX is the pop. CCCX. Okay, yeah, that's nothing really going on. But yeah, I watched that high of day momentum scanner and the breakout scanner, and just to see if something starts moving up here, especially the market we've had. But like we talked about earlier, what we've noticed is one true trend. We're just not getting plays to hold up throughout the day, and and that every day you can go back since the end of last week, mid part of end of last week, plays are not holding up toward the end of the day. And they're starting to come back down and giving their gains back. Every single day we're seeing that. Every day we have a spike, and whatever that spike is, it seems like as the week goes on, the percentage gain of that spike is smaller and smaller and smaller. Like toward today's top gainer is SLE, but right now it's only up 160%. And so to me, I would say watch tomorrow. If this ends up being this way and this does not gain back, and we end up today, say below the VWAP or whatever, I would say tomorrow we're going to see the exact same thing we saw today. But tomorrow's top gainer may not even be what today's was, which we'll just say today, SLE, is up from yesterday and after hours, I know. And in pre-market, you can see what it ran to. We'll say it ran from essentially about a $10 to $11 move. And then it held up. I know we saw bigger dollar moves, but like we were talking about earlier, it was like up and straight back down. You can't even trade that really for the most part. I'm talking about plays that are actually trying to hold gains throughout the day. And today, this is your prime example, SLE. And it's not doing a really good job. And so tomorrow we're going to have even more of this, to where we have less, plays that we're talking about. And it's not, and could be to where we lead down to where we're back on Thursday and Friday, where it's about like last week and it's even slower. Luckily, last week we had Bria, though, that kind of got a spicy, remember, on Thursday for us.
Yeah,
really got
Bria's been good backside, too. She's been still good backside. Yeah.
So that's been one of the plays, so if we don't mind, I've said that, so if we don't get to something like Thursday again, and we're going, it could be real crickets on Friday, maybe heading into next week. But we got some good spikes here in September leading into the fall, which usually typically doesn't start this early. So it's nice to see the spikes we've been getting in small caps. But I would see we probably slow down for a little bit, which wouldn't be bad, so we can get maybe a little bit less of this jolty up-down movement, maybe move into a little bit more of a new trend, because I'm starting to see that after that crazy spike from QMs and Octo Orbs, whatever, we're still getting that kind of sympathy. I want to go long, it's my money, I need it now, like what was it, DBGI this morning, but this is what we're getting. You're going, look at this, in 3 minutes, we'll just go 3 minutes. We go from 8 to 23, back down to 10, within a 3 minute time, essentially 3 minute time period, right? Wow. That's not good. And so when traders see that, and I've noticed that years ago, now I've been doing this long enough, when traders start seeing this, what do you think most traders or humans do? Oh, whoa, they start getting scared. So now the longs don't really work out. And so you're not getting that many good pops and moves. So I could see that happening into early October. And that's generally what does happen until about October 15th or the 20th. And then right around mid to late October is usually, if we get, now again, you just never know. Like you even just said, small caps kind of running their own pace and clock. But generally speaking, that's kind of what we would see again, is we would see another spike around mid to late October. Let's see. I got wrecked on that. FLD was
Yeah, go
FLD
ahead.
was
FLD. That was. We can go over that, James. You got hurt on that one a little bit. Let's take a look at the chart. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the trade. But yeah, if you look, I always look at the 5-day chart. I want to see what it's done the last few days, because FLD, for example, I mean, look at this. Look how it triple topped up at 7. It had made a move a few days ago. It tries to reclaim those levels, and again, you got long stuck in it back here, looking to get out or profit take for a little bit or break even. So it just normally rejects hard off of those levels when it recently makes a move. If you notice with parabolic moves, and Josh and I have seen this from time to time, actually. When I was looking for more longs, back in the day, Josh, this is something that this is what groups would look at. I mean, they essentially are trying to find a play that has not made a move in like at least 6 months. You need some time where shorts are accumulating. There's not a ton of longs above those levels. So that just as an idea, when you take a look at these tickers, just pull up like 5, 10, 20-day chart to get an idea of what it's been doing recently, personality of the ticker. But FLD, yeah, what... That's a tough one. I mean, if you had it in pre-market, I mean, there's not much you can do about the stop, but at the open here, it just kind of dumped. Yeah, you gotta start setting OCO orders. If you're not, James, start setting OCOs or one.
And I'm gonna say, if you want to type out more, what did you do? You guys got wrecked on them. Did you take the spike and it just dumped so fast? Did you take the short and it just was up and down? Where'd you get in? Where'd you get out at? Try to break that down, especially since you said you want to figure out how. We could maybe
we can help you out there. And as far as PLUG, certainly in the power sector, it's getting hot lately. That one's getting a pop this morning. PLUG, I am seeing, if we look at the 3-year chart here, it's got some resistance at 320, so it's just rejecting off of that a little bit. We'll see if around like the 230s, 40s can hold on it on a pullback. So that it's just profit taking today. That's all. We've had a spike up from low dollars. It's had 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 green days back to back. So it's just seeing some profit taking today, hitting a low resistance, but likely going to get bought up on a pullback down into the 240s or 30s.
Yes, sir. Completely agree. I don't know if you're trying to go long or short there. Funkin' funny. Funkin' funny. That's a good twist on words there, but you're kind of funky, but you're also funny. But yeah, that's like exactly what, you're all over. It's just profit taking. And that's multiple days in a row. And so traders are finding that resistance at 52-week high area, taking some profit there, and then getting some sell-off, and watch for that to kind of stop the multi-day uptrend that we're on here, and maybe even have another red day within the week, and then find a consolidation zone and buying up some area, and then you'll get that nice, beautiful spike back on up. If you're looking for a long-term hold, that's my point. And if you're looking for a swing trade there as well, would be nice. Let's see, James, I got in at 482. And watched it start to go, and then it died. Got in at 482 on FLD. Okay, let's go to the big guy. We'll go to the big guy over here. Over to FLD. Let's go to it here. So you got in on the spike up this morning. Got in right on initially at 482. Oh, I just watched it too long, and now I'm holding and hoping for afternoon. Oh, holding and hoping. Oh, James, you need to call in. Oh, I don't know if not that we're doing biggest loss ever, but that could be the theme this Thursday. Have you ever held in help? And if so, let's hear your story. But 482 for the long there. So you got there. Nice, beautiful move on the way up there. But just like Kevin was just talking about, you get in at 482, you got to have a predetermined area where to take profit. And you have got to see, I would start about 625. At 625, all the way up to 7, you are going to have some resistance. You're just going to have it. So if you get in at 480, bro, when you see 6s, I would just be getting out. I'd look, woo, another move, and I just didn't do anything but press buttons, right? So take it into 625, take it into 7, somewhere in this area is where you should have got out at 100%. Now, looking back at that, I'm sure you can even see on the tape that's going to be resistance, like Kevin was saying. And just going back to your entry price, very good entry price, man. Honestly, very good entry price. Taking that break before 5, and then once you see this spike up and you're in it as fast as that move, got to see that resistance right away. 100%, my man. And then where you're holding and hoping, I will say this right now on this play, going back to that 15-minute time frame. Do you see how we're even lower than yesterday's low after that spike up and fell in the same area? Of course, this was after hours, but you get the gist. If this cracks to new lows and we're lower than the first initial start, there's no point to hold this anymore. So if we get below 330, you literally are you can either hold it forever and just hope it has another day it spikes up. You can, might as well. I mean, almost you can, might as well at this point, but you get my point. It's just you're going to be stuck at 3 because you just go back to the yearly here, and this play is just grounded at 3. Now, does it crack back and go to new 52-week low? It could, but it's not like you're, at this point you're not risking a lot. But again, just going back and looking at that trade you've got to every single time. And I've been asked this even to this day, like, oh man, so you have a target and a stop loss. And I see that so many times for traders, they don't have a target or a stop loss before they enter the trade. You have got to have a target 100% and a stop loss before you ever in a trade, because then this is what happens.
Way more emphasis on the stop. Yeah. Well, I mean, you watch some experienced traders will say, that they use mental stops. But look, I say just throw hard stops on. I do it as well because I do not. I want the guardrails up.
Right.
When you're bowling, you got them little guardrails you can throw up. I want those up.
I talk about that. Funny how experienced traders like us have been doing this for a while. The same analogies, because I talk about that same analogy. Just give yourself a little bit of help when you.
Dude, as long as I've been doing this, like if I don't have a hard stop, like for instance, I love shorting Euphoria. So if something's going like even more parabolic, I'm gonna have like an itch to want to like scale into it, because the last thing I hate stopping out like into the FOMO traders that are buying this thing up, So I want to prevent myself from doing that, because I know what my tendencies are. You got to know your downhill habits and just don't create downhill habits, for that. Like I know what my uphill battles are, and that's certainly one of them. So I throw the hard stops on, just to protect myself from myself. So that I don't know what you do, Josh. Are you do mental stops or hards?
Yeah, I'm definitely. I've noticed that, which I'm definitely different. Well, I am different for sure, but for luck, I took one loss. It's NAKD, isn't a ticker anymore, but it had a merger with Bindon, an Australian company, and Heidi Klum. And then I bought into it, and then I'm holding and hoping forever on the day that they announced they had a merger deal. And of course, it took like 4 years for the merger to get completed. I didn't hold that whole time. This was like 2018. I held it for however long till I was down like $1,000. I was like, this is just dumb. Why am I holding this still? Like I could be. Anyway, so I did that, and then after that, I've been really good, because I've had this told to me many a times how disciplined. Like, man, you're the most disciplined trader ever. Blah 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 blah. But I built that brain big time from. Again, I go back now through the years and
you built that brain.
Michael Jordan Wings poster every day. I've got Optimus Prime. I mean, so I'm optimistic. Yeah. I've got Michael Jordan never going to say die. I'm not. So I just built this mentality. But trust me, 99.99999% of traders need to have a hard physical stop in, because otherwise they won't stop out what they say mentally. And traders they watch me live. I'll stop myself out. It's not a hard thing for me to do. I'm fine with it. And then how often that'll happen, which you'll stop yourself out. Then what happens? It reverses right back in your favor. And then you would have been green. And then it goes to your targets, and you're like, but that's all trading.
Yeah.
I had a stop loss. I'm sticking to it no matter what.
Even if you have a hard stop, like sometimes you'll find yourself like, oh, let me just adjust it a little bit, a little bit higher. Now, yeah, that's looking, So you can still be an amateur and adjust your risk parameters mid trade. Yeah, you got to stick to, and that's why I said earlier, I like to be in a lot of different trades. It helps me to not tunnel in on one and do that. But hard stops, they do save me. I'm not as disciplined as Josh. That's just my, my kryptonite.
Yeah. Well, just like at Meta. I mean, you can look at Meta in my chart right now, where I stopped myself out because it starts coming back up, and my stop loss was here, and I was like, okay, I'm getting out. And then it comes up, fails at my entry area, and comes right back on down. And I would be, still in the ground. But that's just, hey, I have a stop loss. I'm sticking to it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, Josh, you're sticking to this. I feel like my dad's here, and I'm 3 years old. My dad's pulling my ear, like, you better stop out, son. I'm gonna get that paddle out and spank you, boy. I'm like, yes, sir. I'm out. But yeah, no, that's the other thing. I don't know if you don't do, James, but another thing that a lot of traders don't do. We have two James in chat back to back here. I love it. Got a lot of J's again. Would be, you got to journal and track. You've got to go over what you're doing every single day, because I did that at first and I realized what I was doing wrong. What I was trying to trade at certain times of the day that I was not good at. I was trying to trade certain setups that I just wasn't mentally stable to trade, and realized that I needed to wait for the stock market to slow down and wait for bounce plays. This is back in 2017 when I first started. I was like, I've got to wait for bounce plays. And I became a 70% bounce trader by just focusing on bounce plays every single day and just doing that, waiting for that setup to come. I was scanning different tickers. Oh, there it is. There's that same setup I love. I was joking. All the analogies we have. One I always say is, I love my wife, right? You love my wife. I know. And of course, like anyone, who you see a beautiful woman or man or whatever, you can't help but go, wow, she's gorgeous, or man, he's hot. So I'm going to use my wife as my analogy. When I walk into the stock market, AKA the bar, AKA the stock market every day, right? I'm looking for Avery, my wife, not Kevin Avery. It's kind of weird, I know. But Avery, my beautiful wife, Avery. I'm looking for her. I know she's hot. I know she's the one. She's fun. She's going to lead me to fun, great times. We love the same food, love the same music, etc. We have back-to-back birthdays. You got it. You get my point. I'm looking for her. If I don't see her, I'm out of that bar going to the next one and trying to find Avery, right? So every day I'm just looking for that bounce play, looking for that bounce play, looking for that bounce play. And if it's not there on that ticker, as I pull up the ticker, I'm waiting. Of course, I wait for that setup, but if it's not there, I'm not trading it. And so that is huge when you go to journaling and tracking, because you start to establish what you're good at and what you're not good at, what time of the day you're good at trading, what share size you notice you're going too big. Maybe, oh, wow, I need to stop going that big. Every time I go that big, I'm not holding. Or, wow, when I go this share size, I'm actually sticking to my game plan. Or when you start sticking to your targets and your stop losses, how your P&L will start to adjust. And the big thing I do, which Kevin's going to be joining me for sure on one of these Fridays, I'm doing like Kevin does. I'm calling them dual stream Friday. So on Friday, I'm going to invite new traders on, or new traders, but traders that I know that are great and, talk stocks. Well, last Friday was my first one, and I had Matt on, and Matt talked about this, and it's true. We have 5 trades. We have big loss, break even, small win, big win. It's the big loss that everyone can't get rid of. You can get rid of the big loss and you just have big win, small win, break even, and small win. You're golden. But everyone, for the most part, has a trouble getting rid of this guy right here. And when you can't get rid of that guy right there, your trading journey is struggling, and it's hard for sure.
That's why I like the max account, because it's protected me many times. Like, I can only lose $250 in a day. So as reckless as I get on the max, the dip on the account's not too bad.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, great analogies though. Excellent work.
That's as long as we do this, it's just funny how we just kind of come up with these in our brain, but it's true. I mean, it's really the truth. We think about these things and try to just become super disciplined in what we're doing every day. I always liken it to, you're building a rocket for X or SpaceX or NASA or whatever. Like, how many trials and tribulations they go through before the thing, they can even get it to take off, right? There's troubles there. Then they finally get one to take off, but it blows up. Then they're finally getting them to go up, but now they can't get them to land, right? And they're falling all over the place or exploding when they land. Then finally they're getting them to land, right? How long is that journey until they're finally now getting consistent space shuttles essentially to take off and come back and land? It took a while. It didn't just go, oh, we got it. We're smart. We know what we're doing. Those guys are smarter than all of us put together. No offense, but they probably are. That's why they know what they're doing, right? You get my point. And so it took them how long and how much pain and struggle and how much money, in a way, to invest till they finally got it right. It's going to be that way in stock trading as well. And
yeah, I like the Edison quote. I use the Edison quote all the time, guys. Like, you gotta. His thing was, it took him 1,000 losses, he said, to figure out how to.
Right.
Not losses. It was 1,000 ways not to make the light bulb. I like that quote because of that. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't fail that many times. Michael Jordan as well. He's like, I've lost thousands of games, thousands of hundreds of championships or whatever. But the only reason he wins is because he lost. I love those quotes. The only way to success is going to lose. I mean, really, us as traders, we only learn in the drawdowns anyways. I mean, we don't we don't learn any lessons when we're making money.
Right.
Hardly.
No,
Nobody
yeah.
studies the
Right.
wins.
Yep.
They're just So you learn in the drawdowns. Yesterday, I had a huge learning lesson. I was like $1 away from getting funded, and I was so tilted, and ended up with a max loss day. James, I should have stepped away. He was telling me to, because I was looking for trades versus like to get funded versus letting the trades find me. It was very aggravating yesterday, but yeah, live and learn. You learn in the drawdowns. So
I had alerted it earlier that 1660 here for Joby. Had orders at 1657 and 1647, hoping it'd come down a little bit more. Did not get filled there. Hit 1661, so we'll see if that ends up being the bounce. But I do like this consolidation area for the move up. HOND was another one, HOND, brought up by Powell, and CR Trader like that move as well. We'll move away from plug. It's a little bit slower, but RCAT's another good slow and steady mover. Again, if you're looking for this, kind of reminds me of HIMS from last week that I took from HIMS, Money Mitch, that is, and got the sloppy seconds, so to speak. And I may miss my sloppy seconds here, but I did get filled on HIMS last week. But this week, nice slow and steady plays. This is kind of what you should be looking for to move, in my opinion, into lunch hours. Just find the slow and steady movers. And that way you're not trying to challenge a lot of crazy random volume, especially when it comes to small caps. Now, today, a little bit slower, like Kevin was saying earlier, not really getting a spike or plays to move, but you just never know. As he's also said, and why anyone can attest that's been doing this long enough, out of nowhere, you can get a play to rip and go crazy on you. So that's why right now I'd be sitting on my hands. The only thing I liked would have been SLE earlier, and it's just not really giving it to us. It looks like it's kind of dying out. So that was your only slow and steady kind of like, and it's just not doing much right now for small caps. That's about it, really. I'm not seeing anything else across the board. I have a lot of traders going over to energy plays or IonQ, right, or RCAT, that kind of stuff. That sector's pretty hot today.
yeah, James, I was gutted. I mean, it was so frustrating, but we'll get it back. I say it all the time. The mind's got to be stronger than the emotions. I was highly emotional after that. Being $1, I had made a $1,550. I was there, but on the max, you have to have you have to have under 30%. Your biggest win can't be like 30%. So I needed like another $1 for that.
Better. Was he long or short on BETR earlier?
Oh, BETR.
Money Mitch, I know him talking about better. It is getting a squeeze right now. There's a $10 move in the past about 10 minutes here on BETR.
Yeah, BETR. Yeah, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think he was long. I think he was long, and it pulled back, and he got out. But yeah, BETR climbing on up right now.
There. Risky Biscuits traders out there. I'm not going to stab this one in high of day, but yeah, this would be your area. It's already kind of getting some selling, you can see, but there's going to be some red on the tape there, as you can see, as we get into this resistance area. So this is definitely an area. This is kind of in a way, a CR trader type of double top and shorting at that high of day area for sure. I'm not going to touch it though. And the two James, and that can happen though. You just talked about it. Forcing versus letting plays to come to you. That is the key. Forcing versus letting plays come to you, because a lot of traders, when you get to, like I said, this time of the day, they want that, or if that, you're trying to that, then that's one thing with trade the pool, those little rules and parameters that we have to abide by.
When you're trying to make a certain amount versus just taking the edge when it presents itself.
Right. Yep. 100%.
SLE heavy. 830s. Yeah, dude, I got the blueprint, but as far as can I build my own house sometimes, because I know we go over this in the small cap lessons we've been doing, but it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, guys. Like, there's still emotions there. You just kind of know what they're telling you. Like yesterday, I was emotionally heightened, and I knew to step away and didn't do it. So you got to know, you got to know what the emotions are saying and actually listen to them.
Yeah. Yep. No. And trust me, it comes to that gut instinct. And real quickly, I do want to go back to Meta. Gorgeous trade on Meta right there. Missed the bounce on Jobby. I wish I would have stayed. Got me.
Meta. Meta tried that.
I would have stayed in that. That's 770. Perfect rejection. Called that out ahead of time. Beautiful. And I think Paul even talked about the retest of it. Came back up. It did. Now back down some more. Again, where does this come from, team? And where am I getting this Meta area? It is the low of day from last Friday. We bounced on it yesterday, and then we reversed on it. It come really hard yesterday at the closing bell. When I see that on the chart, all that in one area, and then when it's coming back up, where did we fail at the opening bell today? It just reeks of a short. So when you see that in large caps, even small caps as well, but this is what I'm looking for if I'm looking to short the top, usually small caps and definitely large caps. I love Meta. Love me some Meta. Everything's Meta with a little bit of Meta. or cheddar.
Cheddar. Let's get that cheddar. Yeah, let's flip through some tickers, guys. Pretty active morning. I mean, few good plays this morning. SLE certainly the one that's kind of still. I mean, it's up from 328 up towards 840 right now. Still heavy. We'll wait and see. I like it still against 10. CR Trader, what are you thinking there? SLE.
That was definitely one from earlier. That was a money maker right there. I don't know if that's going to get us any more volume for the day. That's what I was kind of telling Paul. I'm like, can we get any more volume on this? It's just, and then again, I would say this like yesterday in after hours, expect spikes again in after hours, like we did IPD and SLE, speaking of. And then I would honestly expect some continuation and or spikes tomorrow morning. The key is going to be if we, like when I come in, I usually don't come in until around 8 a.m. around there. 7:45 to 8 a.m. Eastern. And then that's the tail of the tape. Or do we have plays that are holding up? Or has everything kind of gone up and crashed back on down? And do we have 1 or 2, 3 of those straight down moves? And if that's the case, I will be definitely, before the market even opens tomorrow, we'll be alerting across the board saying, watch for reversals and plays. They're just not holding up right now. And then we probably won't get many spikes and see a lot of what we're seeing today at this time tomorrow as well. Short at the top there. Again, not my forte all the time. I showed you where it is, the meta trade. Very nice. Where it's not more volatile, risky moves, in my opinion, just because they're really spiky, euphoric, essentially, like KA talks about. This is gorgeous, though. Right into what? Resistance. High of day, just like my meta trade. You come back up into it. Boom, and then there is your reversal. Nice, good trade there from Better at the top part of the chart there. Top of the chart. That's what we're seeing, though. I mean, going back to what we're seeing right now, honestly, as we're going over these trades, I talked about what's worked. If you're looking to short, reversals at the top. Even a slow play like Joby, right? Joby, whatever you want to call it. 17 reversal comes back down to my 1760. Old resistance equals new support. Bounce play. So you're either taking reversals or bounce plays. Bounce plays or reversals. That's just what the name of the game. Bounce plays or reversals. You're looking at Meta, you're looking at Joby, you're looking at Better, you're looking at multiple tickers in different price sectors, and they're all very similar on what's working. Same thing here with BKKT. Where's the short at? Nice reversal from this double top 18 area. Oh, and I haven't so I can't. There's one thing I can't wait to start talking about, and it's going to Florida and seeing you, my friend, in Orlando.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you doing some karaoke, man. We'll have to record.
Oh, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'll promise you that. I promise you that.
We'll get some bourbon in your system. See what you can come up with.
Hey, that's what I usually drink when I'm out with. It's all. I just Makers is my thing. I like Makers Mark, so it's Makers on ice. So yeah, just a big old block of ice, big cube of ice with some Makers. Just boom, bro. That's it. Makers on a big rock, and then you'll get about 2 or 3 of those in me. Next thing you know, I'm like, all right. Get out of the way. Let me show you how the pros. And it's going to be just like the movie moments where I'm singing and it sounds like I'm just like, it's like, I sound like I'm just a rock star. You get my point. And then you guys are all like, oh my God, Josh, no, like you sound terrible. And I'm up there, eyes closed, just like, yeah. And you guys are all like throwing apples and beer at me and stop talking. Or stop singing. I'll go to Tim. He says, can you all break down TSLL? I am long at 2022. Stop is 2012. All right. We got in at 2022. What a great year that was. All right. That's now resistance now, essentially, in my opinion. We can see at least over the last 15, 20 minutes, we've come up and failed pretty much at your entry at 2024. Now, if we do break back above that, I do see a little bit here at 2030 and then 2035. So working our way back up to yesterday's chart. Do I see anything there that I need to worry about? Not as of right now, but I do see yesterday's bouncing right here at this 2025 mark. Essentially where you're filling at now. You were bouncing there yesterday. Where are we bouncing at? And I talked about this. If you do get my morning alerts, Tim, and I went over this to start my live stream with you guys. What did I say the normal, ultimate, I think it was. Ultimate low of day was. Normal low of day was going to be pre-market low right here where we got the bounce at that I alerted right there. It was happening at the opening bell. And then I said the ultimate low of day, if we go lower than that, would be yesterday's low of day right here at 20. Freaking chef kisses to the morning alerts. Tim, did you just ask about this so I could toot my own horn about my Tesla alerts? Anywho, So
Yeah, I like that
beautiful.
lower wick there. I mean, it did that liquidity sweep under 20. See the volume
Right.
increase there.
Right.
That'd probably be
Yep.
my stop right under that lower wick.
Right. Yep. Yep. And there's your chart. And that's it. Exactly. I would probably move like exactly like Kevin said, I'd move my stop down because you can just see that demand area down there at 20 is it's just soaking it up. And so once you get back over 2025, now you're working your way back up to babe and the VWAP, et cetera. And then you'll be good to go. So
It's a good question, though. It's a good question. I like it. As far as risk management goes, Josh, I do my best when I say, "Where's my risk?" before I enter this trade.
Right. Yeah.
That's what we should always do.
Yeah. You got to. I mean, you
Got
have to.
Don't just be like, "What's my profit on this trade going to be?" That's
Right.
when
Oh,
you get in
no.
trouble.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yep. And the way I think, luckily, because I'm again being different because I always create my stop loss off my target. So I always teach people the opposite of that. I'm like, say what you're saying, stop first. Although I find my target first and then create my stop off that. But you're like, hold on, you go to your target first. And I'm like, I know. I teach the wrong, but it's because I really do base it off my target. So my target that I feel like we can get to, like say my target is we'll just say 30 cents away, and I feel we can get to 30 cents. Now maybe we get, my second, we get from a base hit to a double to a triple, but my base hit's 30 cents. I know I got that. That's in the bag most likely. Well, then I create my stop loss off of that. And then I go down in the chart and say if I'm going long and say, okay, my entry's here at 2, I think we can get to 230. Well, then I go down the chart 15 cents and go down to the 185 area and go find something on the chart. What at 185 is going to keep me in the play? Not just a whole number of, okay, well, 15 cents, that's it. No, I want something to go to a stop loss and actually bounce off of it if I'm going long and keep me in the play. That's always been my thought process. I don't want it to just stop me out. Yes, that's the reason why it's called that. But I also want it to keep me in the game just in case my entry wasn't the best one. Maybe my stop loss is. And I can go through hypothetical after hypothetical trade. And that's why usually it comes about a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. But that's it. I find my target first, identify, this is where I know I can get to. This is the safe area that I want to create my stop loss off of. Then immediately in the chart, go to my stop loss and say, this is it. This is going to keep me in the play. And if it doesn't, I know I've got to get out. Meaning that kind of goes back to where I'm so mental because I'm like, hey, say my entry is 2 and we go down to say, I see old resistance equals new support at 190. So I keep it at 190. But if it cracks 190, the next area down is like, could be 170, 170. I am not. Then you go to 1-to-1 or even probably worse than that. So I know in my head if I'm going to crack 190 and that doesn't hold, so 2 didn't hold, 190 didn't hold. What do most traders do? And you just said it, Kevin. Oh, well, this will hold. They then adjust as they start adjusting the plan, and I never do that because I go in my head.
Now this will hold. Now this will hold.
If it cracks 190, now you're going down and you're going to be even more red. Why do you want to be in that trade still, you idiot? And so I yell at I'm like, you idiot. No, like back in the day. And so, I've just been so middle.
Well, this may be how a lot of traders think because this actually registered with me when I read this. It's like when I'm red, oftentimes I'm hopeful on a trade, and then when I'm green, I'm scared of it turning red, so I take it off early. That's always been my struggle, is like taking the green off too early. So I try to like exaggerate that, and I'll just try to forget about my green trades. I set them and forget them, or take a partial off, adjust the stop to break even to get me through that emotional hurdle. But you got to recognize that. Is that you? Is that you out there? That's like, man, I'm red on this trade now. I'm hopeful that it'll curl back around. One of you said it earlier. I hold and hope. So let's make sure we know that risk when we enter the trade. I think we want to be flexible on the reward side, but you can't be flexible with the stop. That's got to be hard. That's got to be hard.
And then James asked about where I do my morning. I do. It's called Prime Trading Investments. So there's the link to that right there, James. So just look up primetradinginvestments.com. Primetradinginvestments.com. I also have a Discord as well. It's free, so I'm like, I try to invite as many people over that for free. I like free stuff. So if you want to join my Discord, here is my Discord. So get on over there and join. I'm putting as much as I can on the Discord for free. And then the morning alerts and my live stream is a paid service. So if you want the morning alerts or the live stream, it's a paid service. I've been going live for 5 years now. Now I'm on my own over the past few months, but I was at a different place streaming live and being paid there. Now I'm on my own. But yes, it's paid for the live stream, paid for the morning alerts. Very cheap, though. Very reasonable pricing. I don't want to charge a lot. And then the Discord's free, and I'm putting a lot of information. So is CR Trader. So is all my traders that are over. It was about 150 over on the Discord now. So
You're funny. I like free stuff. What freebies you got over there?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that is me. I'm like, what do you got for free I can take? Because I may take it.
I see you now pulling through the drive-thru. Y'all got any freebies today?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, I should have done that because I saw it was like National Cheeseburger Day or whatever it was last week. I should have went into just drove through all the drive. Hey, you got free cheeseburgers today? No, come on, give me one. It's cheeseburger day. Come on. Just annoy the managers to find one. Give me a cheeseburger. Just wrap one up. Let it just make them. I thank you for the free food. Oh man,
that's what you're doing in your free time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in my free time, I want free things.
Sitting on the corner of I-85, asking for freebies.
Yeah, right. Yeah, ZSPC, nice little pop there. Good alert there, Chef Boy, Mr. Chef Robert. Again, if you're looking to short right here at the top, I like that 232 mark. I don't think it's going to get there now. Look like we're forming a little bit of a tweezer top here at 220, and it's starting to reject down there. Seeing so much of that, 100% CR Trader getting that double top that I alerted and said most likely his forte to get the short in, and sure enough, he got that short. And then right here, again, we're just seeing a lot of that movement, and like James always says, I love that quick, fast move into it. A real quick pop does seem scary. You just got to trust the chart. Find your areas of reversal and know that they're going to work. And again, like the James always says, you have to embrace the trade, embrace the risk, something along those lines, because that's trading. You're going to have to learn how to see red. You're going to lose. You're not always going to be right. What's Mud say? Sometimes I just sit working orders tab so I don't look at profit. Oh yeah, that's why I don't have my P&L up. I just never. I've been as every trader does. You pretty much stare at it. And what I did at first was nonstop. I mean, as soon as I was in the trade, it didn't matter if I was in 10, 20 shares. I just immediately started, looking at the P&L, and it affected my trading big time for sure.
You just take the chart immediately off and just stare. Put the P&L up on the big chart. Just taking a look at it, trading the P&L. ZSPC, that's not bad. I guess I got some resistance up in the 230s, 40s. I'll pull that chart over. ZSPC popping up. It came out with 8 o'clock news. So you guys are aware of that. Hitting that 20s right now. Robotics company submitting applications for training, maintenance, and operations. Okay. Fundamentals, what I call them these days, Josh.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
But, small cap land, they're looking for something to trade. We got the 50-day at 228, which is rejecting hard off of now. CR Trader, very good. Thank you. Yes, that's something you pointed out, and I definitely I acknowledge now, certainly on these tickers, it's where's the volume at? Where as far as like on the chart? Where are they stuck in? Whether on the short or long side, where's the majority of this volume at? Because volume's a great indicator. I mean, it's a great indicator seeing just that peak in the volume. And especially, I like getting those, whether you're long or short. You just want to look for the liquidity grabs, those upper wicks. Where's the majority of this volume at? That's where I like to know where traders, or where whether long or short, where they're stuck at. ZSPC is interesting right here. I mean, at 240, I probably start a position. I like it against that 50-day. See if we retrace back under it.
Yeah, and this doesn't have a lot of spiking days to it either as well when you go back and look at it at ZSPC. So definitely getting a bigger green day than normal here going back on the daily. And I can't tell you how many tickers we've seen in the bottom right-hand corner of the chart. Like if you go to the daily, the 1 year, 1 day, you can pull it up real quickly for them so they can see. Bottom right-hand corner. Just so many tickers that we've seen that are. When you have that, and you have no charting really that's been built up because all the big spikes are dollars ago, you can rip. You can start to move through these areas pretty, a lot easier. So that's why we're definitely seeing a lot
of
spikes.
In the short interest we could look at too. That's a variable I like to look at. But like Josh is saying, I like to look at the daily and see what other days in the past chart history with this level of volume, what did it do? Like that gives you an idea of the range. So if it had 5 million shares traded this day, today, and then we look back at another 5 million share trade a day, like how far do we move on that volume with this ticker? That's underrated, guys. If you don't do that, it just allows you to get some depth into this ticker and the personality of it. But not a lot of people talk about that, but it is a very crucial thing. I highly recommend doing that.
All you need is all we need is all you need trading is more emotions. Yeah, exactly. As we don't have
all I need is a miracle. Intraday.
Yeah. All I need is a miracle.
There you go. Let's sing it. Let's sing it. October
All right.
15th. October
Yeah,
15th.
baby.
Who knows what's going to come out?
Yeah.
October
I'll be
15th.
pulling out some. Yeah, you'll be like, he's singing Christina Aguilera. Okay, he's had way too much to drink. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. I remember. Hey, I can sing some. Well, I can't sound like her, but I remember some Christina jams. That was my scene. I was born in '84. What year were you born?
94.
Yeah, okay, 10-year difference there. Yeah, so see, you know, when you were 5 years old, you were watching cartoons. I'm over there jamming, drooling it over Christina and Britney. You know, I'm going woo. You know, then there's Jessica Simpson, and then there was Mandy Moore. You know, that pop stage. It's weird because I'd wear like some days I could wear Jinkos. If you've heard of those from back in the day, those really big jeans, baggy jeans. I'd wear those, and I'd be listening to like Linkin Park or Blink 182. And then some days I'd go from Linkin Park to Blink 182 to listen to like George Strait or Garth Brooks or Brooks and Dunn. And then, yeah, it's just weird. Like my plethora of music that I listen to is all over the place. I mean, some days it'd be Jimi Hendrix or Pink Floyd, but I think the biggest was, pop music. I was definitely a little, I'd put blonde streaks in my hair. I listened to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. And I'd fully admit it to this day. So, you know, but I like music from all over. It's weird how, you know, I don't have one genre. I mean, I can listen to kind of anything and like it for the most part. But yeah, I was definitely a little bit a pop baby back in the day with the blonde streaks in my hair, my man. I'll have to show you some pictures.
You're not.
I thought I was going to be in the Backstreet Boys and singing and dancing on stage, and not doing karaoke. I thought I was. No, I'm just kidding. But that was definitely the jam when you were a little baby. That pop scene for sure. I guess it's really still seems like it's carried over to where that's all music now is. It seems like even country or rock, when you hear it, like Taylor Swift is not, that's me, you know what I mean? I know that she's even kind of turned to pop, but when you hear country music now, like that Morgan Wallen guy, I guess he's kind of the new country, you know, stars for the guys, but I'm like, that doesn't sound like country to me. It sounds like pop music kind of, sort of, you know. Are you going to short ZSPC here?
Oh yeah. I'm starting it. Yeah, CR Trader. I knew I liked CR Trader. I knew I liked him. Yeah, CR Trader. Love it. He knows what he's doing.
That's my dude. My dude. Yeah, there you go. There's TSLL. There you go, Tim. There you go. Finally out of that the 2035 range, kind of getting a little bit of a spike there. Good for you. Getting a little bit of a move up here. Yeah, this is it right up in this area is what I was saying, you know, to good alert there. Honestly, if Chef Boy to get us over here, Chef Robert truly is a chef, by the way. So if you're ever interested, So if you ever need anyone to, I don't know, Chef Boy, I don't know if you go around the world and do that kind of stuff, but he is a chef. He's a badass chef for sure.
Yeah, ZSPC. I like what CR Trader's thinking there too. Building a position here. I hit it at 227 right when I think you had asked me if I was going to hit it right there. That's the 50-day. The 50-day right there, 228, build it into the 240s. We'll see what it does right here.
Could be one of our last trades here the morning for as far as spikes and getting a decent move here, because it does seem like a lot of the other small cap plays have definitely died off with volume and not really getting too much movement. Now, it doesn't mean we won't get that later, but just kind of going back and going to the top gainer on the day, SLE is just died off in volume there. So just going back and looking at SLE, definitely has died off in volume. So that's what I was saying earlier to Paula. She was kind of looking at maybe this area for a short because there is kind of open chart territory. I get it. But the thing is, we have to have volume to move.
We'll see what ZSPC just bought up, you know, off of the VWAP down there. See if it can get the volume to break up through to the 240s, 50s. I'll give it to about 260. I'll hit it again up there in the 40s if we get up there.
Yeah, you got that resistance that you were just showing there from a few days ago or last week or whenever the heck that was, a couple of exits for more than 15 days ago now. I think it was about 20 days ago or whatever it was, but we got some resistance back. There we go, right there in right, and pretty nice good wicks up in that 240, 250 range. I doubt she gets to moving past that. I really feel with these, I call them the Wolverine claws are coming out right now. You got the Wolverine claws. So you got to watch out for that. They're definitely, if you crack back under, in my opinion, this 3-minute time frame, if you can firm back under 215, she will crack the WAP and then make her way back down to the 195 area. But like you said, she's building. She is building though right now a little bit. Now I've got Christina Aguilera stuck in my head, unfortunately. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. Won't be singing that. I can't hit those notes. I want at least sound, at least in my head, good. I know I won't sound good, no, but at least in my head, I want to sound good. And I know Christina ain't gonna be sounding good in my head. I'm like, no, you're not hitting the notes. You're not hitting the notes. Yeah, that'll be fun. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to talk about that more here too on the stream with everyone. And we got a few Smuds coming. Smud's going to be in Orlando. He's in Florida. Lone Wolf. I don't know if he's listening right now, but I know Smud's coming to Orlando. I got another trader in coming. So so you see Smud chatting. He's actually in the Florida area. He's going to come down. So yeah, we'll have a few traders. It's going to be a fun time for sure. It'll be a fun time, and can't wait to get, like I said, meet you in person. So that'll be fun too as well. And a lot of the guys, there's Lone Wolf. There he is. He's leaking. He's leaking. He's lurking. I said he's lurking, not leaking. Maybe he is leaking. I don't know. But yeah, no, we'll have a few traders there. I'm gonna have a few traders at least on my end that are coming as well. So yeah, it'll be fun times getting with traders. Like I said, when I did my first AKNR, my first kind of like stock trading mastermind or whatever you want to call it, get together in January of this year. I fell in love. I was like, this is really cool, getting with traders, and everyone was just having fun and such a good time. And of course, I did the one in August in Dallas, and that was even more fun, than probably the first one, I'd say. But it's so fun to get in with traders from across the globe and talking to them, and then talking stocks or talking TV or music, movies, or just whatever life. It's really cool. It's really fun. So it's a great experience. So yeah, if any of you are interested, we'll be doing an event in Orlando, and we'll be talking way more about that.
Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. I mean, no one understands traders but traders, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. 100%. My man. I can't believe this hour's already almost over with. We're already at the end of this hour. I just noticed. I can kind of tell because my dogs are getting antsy because I've been talking for so long, and they're like, Dad, when are you going to stop talking to those screens or whatever those things are in front of you? I don't know. All you do is sit up against and look at the wall all day long. Because you got to imagine a dog, because mine is like right here up against the wall, right? I'm just I'm just wondering what my pack's thinking. Like, Dad spends all his time in this one room in his chair and just faces this wall. Like, what is he doing? Like, he's got his back against us. Like, it's, like, I just would love to know what dogs are thinking, because they definitely are pretty smart.
My dad talks to himself all day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, did your dad do the same thing?
Humans are crazy.
If it was like, that's why I want to make a movie like Secret Life of Pets, kind of like that movie. But yeah, where that would be one thing that would be brought up. Like, hey, this is what my dad does. What is your like? Well, mine leaves me all day. I get put in a crate, and he's gone for like all day long. I don't ever. And then when I get home, yeah, all the different stories they would have. Well, my dad takes me to daycare, and there's all these other dogs there. I got a lot of friends.
DVLT, James, is going to be tough to get the 10 cents out of, the 10-cent rule. I mean, it does look heavy against 62, double top in there, but yeah, the 10 cents, I wouldn't take that trade, because if you're with TTP at least.
Right, yeah. That's one of those, to me, like, you've been trading for a while, you've got a broker, and you're going to go in 15,000, like, you know what you're doing. You're just trying to get a small little.
You just make
it 5-7 cents. You're going to go in big. And traders do that. They go in big, 5, 10,000, 15,000 shares in those areas, and it doesn't take but 5, 10 cents, and then boom, you got you banked, But yeah, right. With TTP, that 10-cent rule is going to come into play on that. Any way I look at it, even like do the bottom side for a bounce, for a reversal. Because again, I always do, like you were just talking about, Kevin, the same thing I do as well on the day. So like if I go to take a trade, like say just like right now, and I'm looking at DVLT, and the low of day in the open, we'll just call it right at 42 cents, 41 cents. We'll just call it essentially a 20-cent day, right? 41 to 42, 42 to whatever, or 42 to 62. High of day 62 cents, low of day is 42. So overall, in the last 2.5 hours since the market opened, I've moved 20 cents. Mm-hmm. You go to any other play on the stock market right now. My point being, we're trying to get 10 cents, right? That would mean you're going to get 50% of the day's move. Do you think you're going to get a 50% move on most tickers you look at day in, day out? No, right? And that's what I think about. I'm like, okay, so most plays, you just try to do that in your brain and go, well, yeah, I'm trying to get 10 cents. Or not that you're trying, but some do that, and they want 10 cents. And I'm like, they'll say, hey, AK, I'm looking for a bounce play. They're like, they're trying to show me a play like this that doesn't have a lot of, as I call, profitability zone. And then I'm saying, okay, if it's only moved 20 cents for the day and you're trying to get 10 cents out of it, you're trying to get half of the day's movement. it's going to be most likely, very unlikely that you'll get that, especially as the volume dies out.
Right.
If that makes sense. Again, you got to imagine a play like even ZSPC. It's gone from 160 to 230. So essentially it's gone 70 cents on the day. You would be very lucky to get 35 cents out of it, right? You'd be, wow, I got 50% move on what it's moved for the day. That's not going to happen a lot of the time.
Good work, James, on ZSPC. I'm still, I took it off as well. Still looking for a bigger play there. If we do pop up towards 240s, 50s, I'm going to hit it again. But, just taking it for now. Short euphoria, sell high, buy low. Sell high, buy low. Got a few faders just working them right now. But outside of that, kicking back. I had AGRI. That one curled all the way back around, but I'm still working that play. Better. I got a small position there in QMMM working that one, but there's no real volume on QMMM.
Yeah, and there's your candlestick confirmation too that I talked about, that 2.7. This little 2.7. Nice. Yeah, and then you got that confirmation right there below it, and then boom, there comes some more of that follow through that we were talking about from earlier. So different time frames. I know CR uses a 5 minute. I like using that 3 minute a lot, and then finding that base in the 3 minute time frame. And when you crack that base and you candlestick confirm below it, then you get a little bit more of that pullback, kind of waiting for, if you're looking, like you say if you scale out and you're out some shares, and like we've always talked about, holding on for that, find a little bit of maybe some move of it, and that's the stuff that I look for right there. Like, okay, I'm out most of it. I know this still could squeeze, but if I get that confirmation below and then the VWAP, I'll get a little more pullback, and then boom, it happens. You take your profit, you get out, and then like we talked about, are we going to get 35 cents on this play? So far, no. But that's what I've talked about. If we went from 160 to 230 on the day, if you're trying to get 50% of that move, and you're doing that majority of the time, you're going to have a very long trading career for sure. But good job, James, on the DVLT that you got in 42 cents. So essentially probably got on that spike up earlier. Good job, baby boy. Good job. And it seems like you're catching the breakouts. I mean, going back to your trade you had earlier this morning, and now going to that trade, just take your profit. Go back over your trades. Realize you're getting in on the breakouts good. Now you just need to work on your stop loss and your target, right? And so once you start adjusting and adapting, that and moving that around and taking your profit, and that's it. Just base hits. Base hits lead to doubles. Doubles lead to triples. Triples lead to home runs. And as time moves on, those get bigger if you just learn to have patience. Where your singles right now maybe $50 like that. Well, eventually they'll turn to 100. Then eventually to 200. What's that mean to your doubles? Your doubles may be 100 now. They'll turn to 200, then to 400. And that just keeps moving on down the line. That's just stock trading for sure. You got to have that patience. Hey, Josh, do you know the ins and outs of the competition? What is the competition, my friend? I don't know if said competition. What is the competition? Oh, the trade the pool competition. I do not know, but I will definitely look to enter that. If that's what you're talking about, James. Do you know any details on it, Kevin? The competition that Trade the Pool is going to be happening here in October.
Yeah, we'll update you guys on that here shortly. We'll touch base with the team and get an update for you guys on that. Cool. But as far as today goes, great work everybody today. Slow and steady wins the race, as Josh said. And going for those base hits, you take the edge, and sometimes like Josh said, sometimes you get a home run with swinging for just a base, getting that base hit. It certainly happens. It happened with Nas on the QMMM, taking the $8 or $9 entry that he had, and that thing went to 300. So take the edge. Sometimes it'll work out better than anticipated. That's why I like to leave leftovers on trades, just a small position to continually work for you throughout the day. But yeah, anything else you got, Mr. Josh, before we wrap it up today?
Yeah, I'll leave it right there on that leftovers. No, what male out there who doesn't love leftovers? I mean, if I'm having leftover spaghetti, give it to me. Meatloaf and mom's meatloaf, spaghetti with some mashed potatoes, green beans on some leftover chili. Are you kidding me? That's fire. That is absolutely amazing. Give me some leftover enchiladas or tacos any day of the week. So find your leftovers and understand you need to have leftovers. Whether it's you're going to the leftovers and it was yesterday's spiker, it's today's dumper, or you get out of your trade and leave a little leftover. Oh, yeah. When I did that, I felt like I was Macho Man. You got to leave a little leftover, You got to leave a little runner, yeah. You got to get to that next level. You got to have a little leftover.
Yeah, I hear from so many traders, they're always talking in hindsight. I'm like, well, let's stop talking in hindsight and let's actually leave a position. It's like, man, I took that, every day, nearly. It's like, I should have left that on a little longer. Well, leave it on a little longer.
Yeah.
I should have been more disciplined. Well, be disciplined.
Right. No, and James, I think it's for everybody. By the way, he says Canada. I think it's for everybody. Trade the pool. I think it'll be a worldwide thing, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we'll have more information on that. We have a meeting. I think this Thursday. I think we do, right, Kevin. So regardless, I know we'll be talking to them soon, and we'll definitely get you guys way more information. Of course, here they're Monday through Thursday. Me and Kevin are Tuesday and Thursday. Call-in show. Are we doing that still again on Thursday, Kevin?
Yeah, if you got a minute, let's test it out here after we get off. And
Okay.
yeah, we're just working on the technical side still, but yeah,
Cool.
I'm happy to run with it.
So you definitely get point being we're here Monday through Thursday, whether it's me, Kevin, Money, Money Mitch, Michael, all the other great traders they have on here. They will definitely be filling you in on that information, and I will as well, because I'll definitely be entering that for some fun.
Yeah. Yeah, the last one was so much fun. I mean, just had a blast.
Yeah, those are fun. They're real fun. Those are real fun to do for sure.
It's therapy. It's like therapy.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, right?
I can truly go whack-a-mole.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. It's like you get to go to Chuck E. Cheese with the roll of like the $10 quarters, and you just firing away, baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Good analogy. All right, traders. Embrace the risk, accept the results of your trading. Trade well, stay safe and disciplined, and we will see you at Trade the Pool tomorrow. Take care, guys.